drops. You know the thing with the chain? It was very coveted. The thing that drops the engine into the car.
No, it's the thing that John Travolta
That's
right. It's grease lightning.
Well, these heroin addict hashers in my neighborhood literally became heroin addicts. The whole lot of them.
Did they start by dropping mescaline?
I don't recall mescaline. They started by shooting BB guns at me, but they would smoke Lucky Strike non-filters. And the process, Matt was one of the guys. I've mentioned him before. The process of him for the frame of the car to achieving the engine. The car obviously never ran. To getting the machine to put the engine in the car was like a Lord of the Rings type situation. It was a real trilogy between the three things.
Roger's Garage does not become stocked with tools for free, but once you have the tools, you can utilize them to look. He fixed up my pressure washer, and he didn't have to buy any parts for it. And it's just his stuff he got laying around.
So he just has a bunch of stuff laying around?
Well, yes, he's got a bunch of stuff.
So do you invite yourself over to kind of look over that kind of stuff?
I've stopped by with the dog when we're walking by and we have a chin wag, sure. Huh. I don't invite myself over. I don't show up at his door unannounced and knock and say, hey, what's cooking in the garage today? That'd be weird.
Is he cool?
Roger?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What's his favorite band? Is it
Molly Hatchet?
Yeah, is it like Ted Nugent? Where's he from?
No, he'd be way more conservative and normal for your liking. You would be disappointed if you were to meet him.
Does he have a mustache before they became ironically cool again?
He does not, but I believe he's like an IT executive by trade, and that's. I told you, disappointing. But back to the ornamental grass. So what I did was I roped it off. I roped it off about 2 feet above the base, and then again toward the top, and I actually tied it up and got it together. And the boy had to stand there and hold it.
Did the boy ask questions while you were doing this? I'm just wondering.
If they weren't related to the project, I ignored them.
Okay.
Any questions that were asked related to the project, I'm more than happy to answer.
Sure. Okay. You're singularly focused. I got it.
And then I just hacked that sumbitch off at the base with the 24-volt. I know people don't like that I use cobalt tools, but for my purposes, they're fine. With the 24-volt cobalt hedge trimmer. And let me tell you something. Thing came off clean. He hauls them off. Brings the rope. Don't toss the rope away, too. Bring the rope back because we need that for the next one. And then we do a little raking. We do a little, cleanup. And then once that was all done, I got the blower out, and I, really made that spick and span, baby.
That second tie-off near the top, the key.
That
I
is.
Imagine.
Nick likes the idea of a bungee cord, and I'm willing to try that next year.
Yeah.
I saw some online where a guy was using duct tape, and I'm like, that's a waste of duct tape.
Is this the kind of conversation you were talking about, Fred?
Yeah, I stopped listening.
Okay. See?
I do give credit to Nick for the bungee cord idea. I think
yes, that's inspired.
Yeah, it's good.
Nick, I have a table to put together if you would like to do that for free.
You still have that table sitting there?
Yeah.
How long has it been there? Over a week.
Oh, sure. Yeah, going on 2.
Oh,
grief.
My bad. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Many things happened last night.
You're listening to
forgotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened, so change your lettuce and change your life. With Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. What's going down?
All right, we had Monday Night Football last night in Los Angeles as the Chargers were taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. This game could best be summarized in one word: turnovers. And
Atrocious, boring.
There was one stretch where they said, "Oh my God, there's been 5 turnovers on the last 11 plays." I said, "Yeah, but 3 of them happened on one play." I'm not exaggerating. 3 turnovers on this one play.
It's empty for Hurts. Watch quarterback draw. And here comes a blitz from Dayon. Can't get there. Intercepted. Big man. Oh, and the ball is out. And the ball is out again. And the Chargers fall on it. My goodness, that's an interception, a fumble recovery by the offense, and a fumble recovery by the defense. Let's get it all sorted out. When it's all uncovered, it's Troy Dye that's got the ball.
This is something you may never see again. The same guy turned the ball over twice on the same play.
Elias Sports went back through all their records. They cannot find an instance where the same player turned the ball over twice on the same play as you just said, John. Jalen Hurts threw the interception. The ball was fumbled during the return of the interception. Jalen Hurts got possession of the ball after the fumble, and then he fumbled the ball.
It's impressive.
Chargers ended up taking possession. And look, the Jalen Hurts was not the only one turning the ball over last night.
Herbert back. Herbert looks. He is firing it to the far side of the field. It's intercepted. It's intercepted by Jackson. The Eagles have it back.
Yes. This game would eventually go to overtime last night. The Chargers would kick a field goal. The Eagles, with the help from a couple of penalties, got themselves well within field goal range and decided they were just going to keep going for it. Let's score a touchdown here and let's win this thing. And this game ended the only way this game could.
Hurts in the shotgun. A touchdown would win it for the Eagles. Hurts pulls it, throws, intercepted, game over! Intercepted, game over! Game over, the 4th interception, Tony Jefferson. Unbelievable, Unk does it.
I mean, there was no other way that game could end last night with the Jalen Hurts interception. 4 picks on the night. The fumble, Nick Sirianni afterward.
This game is the ultimate team game, so it's never just on one person. Now, ultimately, he always has the ball in his hands, and I know he'll wear a lot of that and own that, and I got to do a better job of helping him in those scenarios.
Well, he needed all the help he could get last night, and the Eagles fans, which were legion. There at SoFi Stadium.
Half the crowd, maybe?
it seemed like.
And the Chargers are the team that has some history there.
Yeah.
Like
right.
I mean, I understand the Rams were the LA Rams, but they came from St. Louis. At least the Chargers came from an hour away.
So we've talked about this. Where do you think the Chargers rank in terms of popularity as an NFL team in Los Angeles?
Oh, I can do this easily. Okay, so it's Dodgers, Lakers.
No. As an NFL team.
Oh, ahead of the Rams. But in terms of fan base, but in terms of today, maybe the Rams. I mean, it's a very small number of people, so it's very statistic.
See,
we got to shut this door. I got to shut this door.
Okay.
I think the Raiders are more popular in L.A. than the Chargers are.
I would argue that the Raiders are still number one.
Yeah.
I wonder if the 49ers have a bigger fan base.
No,
I
don't think the 49ers have any fans in Los Angeles. I don't know why you would be a fan of the 49ers more than you'd be a fan of the Cowboys. Like, I think if you were just going to gravy train, you could gravy train a lot of teams. I don't think the fact that they're in the same state, that'd be like a Jets fan going, I'm going to go be a Buffalo fan. Like, you're in the same state, but it's not the same thing. Who even thinks of Buffalo is New York, you know? It's just some outpost.
It's well put.
Seriously, like I mean, you don't go like they have the same governor. It's crazy.
I went to school out there. It is an outpost.
I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying you don't think of Manhattan and Buffalo being in the same state.
I'm just thinking as like a football fan growing up in the 80s. And
Well,
when were the Rams there the first time?
The Rams were there in the 80s. The Rams were there in the 70s. The Rams made the Super Bowl in 80.
Oh.
So, like, I think that they have more Rams fans because Ferragamo, and then you have Heaven Can Wait. Obviously, you know.
Leo Farnsworth traipsing around.
Yeah, and Bret Easton Ellis went to school with that Georgia, whatever her name is, son.
He couldn't
Thierry?
You got that right.
He couldn't play that clarinet worth a crap.
I have never seen Heaven Can Wait.
I find it oddly watchable still to this day.
Have you seen Shampoo?
No.
You know what befell the man that Shampoo was made about?
Nope.
Killed in the Manson Tate murders.
Ooh.
Kaboom.
How about that?
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
It's a little something for you.
Trivia there.
Yeah.
All right. So that ended up being a win for the Chargers, and let me tell you something. Jim Harbaugh was so excited, not just for the win, but for his quarterback.
And Justin Herbert, he's a superhero. He is a competitive maniac. I mean, he was even stiff-arming guys, with a broken hand. I mean, he had surgery a week ago, and out here tonight. It felt like I was like we were in a movie where the quarterback's doing these, and it's like you get to the point where you go, okay, this is getting a little unrealistic. That's what it felt like to me.
All right.
He's not acting. I mean, he's not acting at all. This is a guy that in his office has helmets from the different teams that he's coached, and they're the ones that are busted
Those
apart.
indented, yeah, that's
because
right.
then he goes and he like has it up like people would have like a Picasso.
Yeah, this Green Lantern-like performance. I'm not saying Herbert was bad last night, but he was 12 of 26 for 139 yards.
I'm saying he was bad.
Listen,
I don't think that's unfair.
They beat Philadelphia. They beat Philadelphia. He's coming off of surgery. He was iffy to play. This is Harbaugh's thing. This is the way he motivates. I heard Ryan Clark talking about it too. It doesn't seem like Ryan Clark really knows. He was kind of just stating the obvious from the clip. He's like, that's the motivation there, the way he talks about Herbert, the way he talks about the kicker. And it's like, well, you just played a clip of him talking about the kicker and Herbert.
Yeah.
So you're gleaning from the same thing I just heard, the obvious.
Yes.
It was really like I didn't read the book and I'm doing the book report. Ryan Clark's calmed down a little bit, but I still think very tenuous sense on reality. But Harbaugh, football and sports in general, just the world now is just got a very eccentric sense of personalities in very high positions. I think with technology and all these things, we're getting a very unusual type of guy in an alpha position.
Okay.
Maybe some.
Now I got you.
Yeah.
Now I got you.
Like you'll see these tech CEOs talk, and you'll be like, I don't know if 100 years ago you'd be in charge of anything.
Well,
being an insane asylum.
Are you saying that a guy like Jim Harbaugh processes emotions in a strange way? I mean, when he says stuff like,
This is definitely, maybe the best feeling, just a wonderful, wonderful feeling of winning and thrill of victory. It's certainly in the discussion. I'd put in the discussion the birth of my 7 children.
Yeah, just end it with 7 children. I have it's not. I don't know if he has like a personality situation that's like in his DNA. I think it's more of a father situation, given him and his brother. It sounds like they were raised in an exceptionally competitive environment. And the father's still like hanging around and like popping into press conferences and stuff. Yeah,
fighting guys outside the hallway.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like
you know what
that was the greatest way to grow. But
my lasting image of Jim Harbaugh remains his stupid sweatshirt tucked into his khakis, running across the field, grabbing Jim Schwartz and then slapping him on the back way too hard after the 49ers and Lions played. And then Schwartz, I would say almost equally maniacal, chasing after him to yell at him for like getting slapped too hard.
Schwartz would get his ass handed to him by Harbaugh.
I
It's
agree,
it's a joke that they would have a physical confrontation.
These
Now, if Schwartz stabbed him or shot him, then I give Schwartz a chance. Schwartz is a pussy.
These two maniacs.
Jim Harbaugh.
But he's a really good guy.
At least Harbaugh is an out there. Like, at least he's got an excuse. I don't know Schwartz's dad, but Harbaugh. Read a little bit. I'm not joking around or over dramatizing it. The Harbaugh kids, not great. Doesn't sound great. Now they went on to achieve good things in football, and Jim Harbaugh was a hell of a quarterback. Remember, he was going to get fired at Michigan. They were all set to fire him, and he turned that around. So he's a great football coach. Great.
Yeah.
And he was a very, very good quarterback. But I don't know if I'd want to take this. Listen, you got to live in your head 24 hours a day, regardless of what you do on a football field. And I'm not positive that's the world's greatest place to be.
You don't want to be there? Inside of Jim Harbaugh's brain? No, I don't think so. By the way,
I certainly don't envy his childhood. Like, something happens to those guys where it gets all, I don't know what the deal is.
Watching the game with Marcy, she's constantly pointing out things that I either A, don't notice, or B, don't care about. But occasionally she'll point out something, and during the game, it was at the halftime, she said, "What's going on with his glasses?" And I looked, I'm like, what? Jim Harbaugh's glasses. Jiminy Glick is the only thing I can think of. Familiar with the Martin Short character?
Yeah.
They are Jiminy Glick-sized, oversized spectacles that Jim Harbaugh is
You, of course, watched the Jets-Miami game, obviously, on Sunday.
We all did.
Of course.
You should go watch what McDaniels had on. He had on what I can only talk of as Faye Dunaway glasses. He had like Faye Dunaway gold sunglasses
Madam,
on.
may I have one of those?
Exactly. He had big old Hollywood broad brown sunglasses on. I love him. He can keep his job too.
Oh, yeah. Miami, that last game of the season against the Patriots might mean something.
That's not. Nah.
You don't think so?
I appreciate the sentiment, but no. I think that AFC's starting to pan itself out just fine. Chargers, Bills, and Texans, I think, are going to be fine.
Yeah, the Dolphins are 6-7 now.
Yeah, but they're not. But I mean, the Texans. Do you think there is going to? Do you think that either one of those three teams are going to fall apart?
Probably not.
No,
probably not.
I mean, Houston just beat Kansas City in Kansas City. The Chargers just beat Philadelphia, and the Bills just have won 2 in a row. I don't know if any of those teams are falling apart. I don't know if the Bills win this weekend. One quick thing on the game this weekend while I'm thinking about it. I heard Joe Murray last night talk about it, and who cares about gambling? But this is interesting. The Bills are favored by 1.5, which Joe was saying was making people angry, which, again, you're all lunatics. Then bet on the game and win. But Joe said the look-ahead line at the beginning of the season was 8.5. So, the Patriots have made up a touchdown over the course of the season, which, as little as I care usually about the gambling stuff, I do think that's a testament to how well they played. And then also, the little Easter egg of people were upset that the Patriots were a home dog. And then why would that upset you? Then bet, and then win a lot of money. Right. Or is the pain of them being a dog? People are very concerned with things, and I like sports, and it's all really for naught, and it's all stupid. And I'm not saying that, but I am saying that even in the world of really caring about sports and a team, this notion of people talking poorly or not respecting the thing that you like is very strange to me. Also, this obsession with Drake May winning the MVP is, I actually think, a little fraudulent. I don't really believe anyone on the radio cares if he wins the MVP at all. There's no way you're still not cynical enough.
You only care about it until the award is handed out. We've talked about this. Once the MVP is handed out, you say, okay, whatever. And you never think about it again.
There's no way that people talk a lot about more sports than we do. There's no way that people talk about sports for 20 hours a day or even 8 hours a week care if Drake May wins the MVP. Not a chance. They don't. There's no way a grown person that is in this world and has to talk about this stuff cares at all at all. Put them on a lie detector, put a gun to them, have them swear on something they love to die. They do not care if he wins the MVP. I would care if I was Drake May. I care if I was the organization.
They care about being disrespected.
That's the whole cosplay nonsense.
I thought those people were gone and had been taught a lesson over the last 3 years.
No,
I thought they were just hibernating.
Well,
and
no,
waiting.
there's no lesson.
They're out of their dark
new
rooms
dynasty,
now and back yelling and screaming.
This team's not going to get any worse, by the way. This team's only going to get better.
Yeah, you're fine.
Well, no, I'm saying that this very well could be another 8-year run. All right, we'll be back.
You won't be fine.
That's a problem
fans,
for you.
I don't dislike Vrabel or
me.
May, so I think I'm all right.
Right.
It's lacking of the absurdity of the Belichick Brady two lunatics. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Hear that, Lance. many offers become an insider.
Sports Hub.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy. Listen at the end of this segment for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card from Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Hardy, the Patriots were back at it yesterday.
They were indeed, and Mike Vrabel was talking about the Buffalo Bills, who are the overwhelming favorites coming into Gillette Stadium on Sunday.
Don't do that.
No, it's just...
Don't poke the bear.
It's
Come on.
disrespectful. The Patriots already beat this team in Buffalo. How's Buffalo supposed to be a point and a half better than your Patriots? It is for the division, though. I mean, this is a big one. It's a hat and T-shirt game, Mike.
Emphasize or bring up a hat and T-shirt game this week for your team?
No, I don't use the hat and T-shirt. We're just trying to play for the championship that we have available this week.
Thank you.
I think it's a great testament to our players that have put us in this position.
You know what he said? He's saying, he says, yeah, I'm telling him that you could win I guess he does this a lot. Like when they beat Tampa Bay, they were talking about how they were NFC South champs because they had beat every team in the NFC South. So he's obviously telling them we can win the AFC East. He's just saying, I don't use that stupid term, hat and T-shirt, stupid roach.
Able to do that, it's not going to be easy. This is a very good football team. There's a reason that they've won this division 5 years in a row.
The reason why they're a point and a half favorite.
You like that, huh? Yeah. If you're just joining us, Joe was on last night, and Joe was talking about how this line look-ahead line at the beginning of the season was Bills by 8.5, and now it's Bills by 1.5. So he was saying that's like a touchdown improvement. I don't know. It's just sort of interesting. It just shows you how much the team has improved and how much they've surprised people. And Joe was saying that people were upset that they were a 1.5 dog in this game, which is like being upset that your money's returning too much in the market. Like I have all this Amazon stock, and this Amazon stock just keeps going crazy, and I have all this information that it's going to go higher. Like it's a bad example, but if you know, my point is, if you think Vegas has made this horrible mistake, that's to your benefit. You can then gamble on that mistake.
Yes. Wait, is that even legal?
It is, as a matter of fact, and it's regulated and everything. And then
you got to go to a bookie or a casino to do it, though. That's a pain in the ass.
No, there's online options here in the state, and you can, theoretically take advantage of this line you feel to be unjust and unfair. In fact, as Gary Tanguay would say, get that 401k ready, and take your appliance budget and put it into this.
Personally, when you hear stuff like this, how much does it make you want to bet the other way?
When I hear people are offended by the line, it makes me think that the line's going to move. But then I don't know. I wouldn't bet against the Patriots. And I certainly wouldn't, unless I say it definitively, I certainly wouldn't do anything that I do betting-wise, because I lost all my bets on Sunday, too.
Me too.
I like when I say all of them, like nothing happens the way I think it's going to happen. I've had 3 ones that I've laid on the line on the air, and they've all hit. But that's 3 out of how many games and how many possible props, and like almost infinite. But I lose 95% of my bets easily. Easily 95% of my bets, for real. So your units, bets, whatever offended Kendra when I asked her what it was.
Yeah, so you're a couple of ticks shy of being a sharp if you're only hitting 5%.
If you
how much
if you faded me, you'd be I mean, I don't know how many units you'd put on things, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, Kendra was in and she was talking units this, units that, and I'm like, what's a unit? And she's like, it's the amount you bet, so like a quarter unit, obviously, da-da-da-da. And I go, well, what's a unit for you? And she got like legitimately pissed. And it wasn't a double entendre. It was like, how much money is a unit? Which I guess is like asking someone if they've had a nose job or something. I guess it's something that, or if they're pregnant, like it's something that you can't ask what a unit is.
Yeah.
And then you guys said what your units were.
Yes.
And I said what my unit was.
Right.
But since she's a
But I would never say
professional,
that. I don't understand.
Well, you're not in the game.
Yeah, I guess.
There's a lot of weird things in that appearance.
Phil Perry.
Blind Scott was no fan.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
Did he email about it by any chance?
Blind Scott said he's going to take a little time off for the holiday.
Oh, what does that mean? Exactly. What is time
I don't
off
know,
for
but
him?
he loved that break of me talking to going to church and Hardy giving me a hard time. He was like, the show wasn't very good, and then that happened.
Oh, no.
He liked that. And then he likes the Episcopal Church because they let transgendered people, and he says.
Anyone want to take a guess at how many emails we've had?
I just counted them. How many? Taking a little break. How many emails has he sent?
We said a break this morning. He didn't say a break overnight.
Okay, because these are overnight emails, including the one that just arrived at 6:42. What do you have for your count?
I have 15 since midnight.
15.
Yeah. So what? He's got stuff to say. It's great though because he's obviously blind and dictates them. So like there will be stuff like okay, and like in the writing, it's just him pacing around yelling into the phone. It's awesome.
There was a question asked by Phil Perry yesterday. Once again, Mike Vrabel didn't like it.
You refer to your players, both with us and then with them after the game on Monday, as champions, you competed like champions. Champions are never satisfied. Why use that word when referring to your team?
I think you're probably just reading too much into it. You guys got too much time since the last time we talked. I don't know. I apologize. I could call them something else, but then you guys would yell at me for using that language.
Yeah, they've been giving a Vrabel a hard time, to be fair. If anyone's got a bone to pick with the media, it would be Vrabel.
They've been raking him through the coals every single week, and for good reason.
I mean, this 10-game winning streak has been met with not so much passion.
There was also some talk about the content, that's been they've been putting out there.
Yeah, like music
by the Patriots. Well,
some good content.
Yeah. That Vrabel says he has final say on the stuff that comes out of the locker room. But what else do you have on the content there, Mike?
Do you watch any other coaches and how they do it?
No. I mean, I'm not taking my shirt off. I can promise you that.
You practice in your office or anything like that?
Nope, I didn't. I've not practiced in the office.
We're referring, of course, to Ben Johnson, who took his shirt off in the Chicago Bears locker room after the win last weekend. So there you are, as the Bills get ready to come in here on Sunday afternoon.
All right. Well, very good. When we come back, Adam used to work for the Boston Globe. That's still in business, but the radio that he worked for isn't. And
which one?
Well, technically, they are.
Nah, I wouldn't. I think that's a very loose definition of being around.
I mean, you can still listen to Indy 617.
I don't think that they're overly invested in that, and I think that's true,
no,
Adam.
Of course.
First of all, we'll address why I'm not one of the Bostonians of the year. I guess it's because I don't. I guess I would just say reverse racial prejudice. It looks like there's a bunch of minorities. Typical Globe. But he says there's some article that's super popular. It's like the most popular article of the year. And we'll talk about that and how that relate. We'll somehow relate it to ourselves. We'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy.
LF-wise, or visit lfelectralservice.com.
And then I thought,
pay off that giveaway.
Yeah, I'll do
you?
it right here. Yeah, I can.
Thanks.
Caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. Will win a $100 Visa gift card from Valvoline Instant Oil Change this holiday season. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is giving you the gift of travel so you can get to all your holiday events without worrying about the price of gas.
It's the most important things, focusing on what we can realistically try to improve, kind of enhance the stuff that we've been doing okay with, which we'll try to do today. I know these guys got some rest, much needed rest, and but we got to crank this thing back up.
In other team news, their game a week from Sunday in Baltimore has been flexed to an 8:20 p.m. kickoff. Patriots play Buffalo at Gillette Stadium in the early window this weekend. Chargers beat Philadelphia in overtime last night, 22-19. Shedeur Sanders is now the starting quarterback for Cleveland for the rest of the season, and Indianapolis is going to work out 44-year-old Phillip Rivers today. Bruins play in St. Louis tonight as they kick off a 3-game road trip. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off at 8 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Charlie McAvoy and David Pastrnak are both on the trip after practicing yesterday. Some Red Sox news from the winter meetings in Orlando. The New York Post is reporting that they will meet with free agent first baseman Pete Alonso today. 7 News in Boston added they've already conducted a Zoom meeting with Toronto free agent shortstop Bo Bichette. Sox free agent lefty Steven Matz is signed with Tampa Bay, and the Celtics are off until Thursday night when they go to Milwaukee. Yesterday, Jaylen Brown was voted the Eastern Conference's Player of the Week. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Avidia Bank, the Metro West best bank. Work with a community bank that goes above and beyond for their customers and their community. Honest to goodness. Member FDIC, member DIL. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
You actually coaching the game, or it's just that is. I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston talk sports here.
What do we got?
The Sports. When it comes to the show, Hardy thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. We got Andrew Callahan coming in at 8 o'clock. Fluto Shinzawa with some big news, good news all around for the Bruins coming up next. So Adam 12 has ruined many radio stations. He is a big fan of them. He was at WBCN when it died, as Hardy and I were as well. He was with WFNX when it died.
Correct.
He was with Globe Radio when it
Radio
essentially
BDC transitioned over to Indy 617, but in effect died.
Yes, he killed that. And then he was at this Rock 105 or whatever the hell it was.
Rock 92.9.
Rock 90, that's right. Rock 92.9.
I have the distinction of being the last afternoon drive DJ on 2 failed rock stations.
Think about that.
Here in this town.
You're catching up with me.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were on that
company.
station.
Yeah.
Dude, Hardy was voice tracking that station while he did mornings.
No one.
Illusion.
He was spending a total of 4 minutes a day voice tracking that afternoon. It's a miracle that station's not around anymore.
It was at least 15 minutes.
That's right. What used to be a 4-hour job of sitting there and taking phone calls and trying has now become a 5 to 15 minute job of just getting it over with.
I told Fred the other day there was a guy who used to work here in the station whose one of his jobs was to just put brakes into a system for this like syndication outfit, right? And his brakes that he would record would get sent off to radio stations all over the country. He didn't know or need to know what market, what format, or what day they were going to be played. It's just, content is what it is.
That's
Some
right.
good, content.
So it would be like, hey, it's Bobby Fishhead here. What are you doing? I tell you what I'm doing. I'm loving life, baby. Stop, upload, go.
Right.
And I was back in Las Vegas a year or so ago, and a radio station there. I heard a DJ on over the weekend. I'm like, who is this? Why didn't they announce the Killers that they, song that they just played? Oh, it's one of these like DJ in a can, good for all occasions, good for all markets, all formats, all day parts. Just plug this guy in, and he'll say something for 15 seconds, and then the next thing plays.
Yeah, I understand that you're saving money by doing this, but there's also a point where you're just giving up on the product, and maybe you just shouldn't have anything.
Yes.
And it's still the best idea I've heard is you take these AM station that's no one listening to, and you just give them to kids.
Yeah.
And you say, here are the laws. It is government regulated, but part with that comes kind of a creativity that's required to make it work. And you guys use it, and now we're the one like official medium, not podcasting or something like, we're giving you something with like a foothold, and you guys can do whatever you want with it. Because what's the worst thing that can happen? Honestly, what's the worst thing that can happen? If you own some worthless AM station,
you get the license pulled that you probably.
You're not getting the license pulled. For all the bluster and horse crap with the FCC, it's very. I would imagine it's very difficult.
The worst that could happen is no one listens, which no one is going to listen anyway. So you might as well give kids a shot to put on something that people actually would pay attention to and listen to, and other media might cover and talk about because it's a good story.
Yes, exactly. And then it becomes this like almost. Pump up the volume type situation where kids drive to a field and listen to it.
Hell yeah.
Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Isn't that his song he plays?
It's the first song he plays.
Yeah, it's his intro song.
I tried to make my daughter watch that the other day, and she would not watch it.
How'd that go?
So I tried to watch. Then I tried to make her watch Heathers, and then I realized Heathers is not very good. I don't know why people said that it was.
That's all right, though.
Okay, Adam.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the deal: is that Adam is insistent on that everyone reads this article in the Globe. I cannot find it. I subscribe to the Globe.
It's in today's rundown. It's in the Globe magazine. It's one of the two pieces.
But my point is, I say most read on the Boston Globe. Number one is how to get meals, repairs, and rides to the airport without spending a dime.
Ooh.
And so if that's number one, I understand.
Yeah.
But this article that you speak of, that you say is a cultural touchstone for the paper, is not only not on the front page, it is not one of the 8 most read on BostonGlobe.com.
Perhaps it's because they release it in the, I don't know, they release it in the Globe magazine, but I'm telling you from the time that I worked there, like the 2 big articles that they would put out every year that got a ton of traffic were like, here are the top schools in Massachusetts, and then here are the top places to work in Massachusetts for the year.
Okay. And so I have found it now, and it's something else. They get this by the amount of money that the company pays in advertising.
So I've read this before, and I read it the day it came out, or read a portion of it. I would find this much more interesting if you had just like one person talking about why it's great to work there. It's like, oh, we get all the free coffee that we want, and they got free childcare here on site, and the boss is awesome. He doesn't care if we show up drunk. But instead it's too businessy. I can't.
You don't get a little bit of a good feeling when you hear Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation out of Madison, Wisconsin is number one.
Yeah, and what do they say about it?
Just that it's there.
Yeah,
and it's number one. It's out of
why? Why is it the best place?
Well, what if I told you that Advisors Living was one of the top medium-sized companies? That doesn't get you going?
I would like to know why. It's one of the cornerstones of
Boston.
newspaper.
Or you could go all the way to Beverly to Construction Management and Builders.
I'm sure it's a great place. Why? Why is it so great to work there?
It's certainly better than Bank Hometown, which is the 42nd. While still on the list, is very improving. But nonetheless, all of us have not always worked in radio, and some of us will have to get jobs outside of radio again. But all of us, obviously, had to support ourselves. One thing about this business is even back in the day, it was not lucrative for long stretches. You were working basically for free, and that was the case with all of us. And all of us put together a little list of what we've done in the past.
Yes.
But Jonathan, at first, claimed he had no other jobs. John's first thing in the meeting was, "I've never had another job." That's honestly what you said.
No, what he said. What I heard was, "I don't remember my life." That's what I heard after John said,
Right. When they took this thing out of my head, they removed with it that part of my brain that recalls things. But you did say that you hadn't have another job, but it turns out you had a lot of jobs.
A lot of jobs, like in college to make money. When I first got
These are all jobs, though.
What a job is.
But my point was, you guys were talking about when we were just in radio. That's what I understood this exercise to be. I've had plenty of part-time
Wait,
jobs.
but how would you not? Wait, how would it not count as a job if you were also doing radio? Like you wouldn't have another job if you were only doing radio.
Okay, fair enough. I was confused as
so you were
to
confused
what the
that
exercise
it had to be a job when you didn't have another job?
No. I understood the exercise to be when I had a job in radio, how else did I support myself? Because radio didn't pay a lot.
How else did you support yourself?
Well, I was very fortunate that I had a lot of jobs close to home so I could live at home while making nothing. And that.
Oh, you were a burden.
Yes. I was a burden to my father. He and I lived alone together.
Is that why your mother moved to Seattle?
That's correct.
It's because you would not leave
Didn't
the
want
nest?
to hang out with the two of us.
Did she move out while you were at home, living at home?
She moved out right after I graduated from college.
Oh, that sounds planned. That's one of those planned. Get out of here.
That's what my ex-wife. The furthest point away from Boston that you could get.
That's what my ex-wife's dad did. He amscrayed as soon as the younger one was out of college.
It's pretty much what my parents did, but if the plan was to wait for me to be out of school, didn't quite make it.
Yeah, that's a long time, to wait around. My advice is just to do it. It's worth the money.
Yeah, I think it was a junior in college when I said, "All right, that's enough."
All right, so here's the deal, John. You have had other jobs,
yes,
and such as what?
I was a cook.
Were you a cook? Or was that mixing business with pleasure?
Yes, as a matter of fact. Oh, okay. I was wondering if you were going to finish it.
Were you a cook?
No.
You've never worked in the culinary. You never worked in the culinary arts.
No, believe it or not.
All right, very good.
I was an overnight security guard for the Raytheon Corporation for a while.
What?
Yes.
At Raytheon Company, we believe that success comes from mastering the fundamentals. That's why we admire people like Larry Bird. People who are dedicated to perfecting.
Now, are they like a defense contractor?
They were at the time, yeah.
Look at Larry Bird. He's just like, put my name on that bomb.
Was it Scud? Was Scud missiles?
Yeah.
Was it Scud?
All right.
Yeah,
so here you are in a place that in an act of war could be bombed.
Yes.
If you're a manufacturer of weapons, like if a foreign entity or a terrorist organization was looking to make some noise. So this is not like a security guard, at an egg farm.
I don't look. Any terrorist would think twice about attacking the Raytheon facility if they walked in and saw him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that usually
25 pounds ago too?
Security guard
140.
You just are high. I'm sure you are at Raytheon too, but you're just getting drunk and sitting around and what's going to happen. But this is a place that if there was a terrorist attack and they were really looking to screw up. Remember when Detroit was always a place that could get bombed? This was not when we lived there, but in the 60s, because they were manufacturing all this. They were a manufacturer hub, obviously, for weapons and military equipment.
Oh, yeah. I think it was a real concern. There are a lot of places like that where the B-2 bombers were rolling off the Ford assembly line.
So if Russia was going to attack and they were going to drop bombs, Detroit was a place where it could get hit. Because that was the belief. Now, that's not, while I lived there, I'm too young, but that was back in the day. But Raytheon would be a place where there actually could be a security threat.
Yes.
And, national security could be on the line. Mm-hmm. And they had young Wallach there.
What type of, this interests me. What type of tools were you...
were you strapped?
Were you given as a security guard?
Were you given a gat?
I was not. I wasn't given anything. It's a custodial shift. We just walked around and made sure we went to different ares of the facility we were at.
Did you have any kind of utility belt with flashlights?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. I had.
All right. Well, tell me.
Well, no, you were saying, did I have a billy club or a gun or anything like? No.
How are you going to protect yourself? Or the place? What did they tell you to do?
Just walk around, man. That's all they told me to do.
Okay, but what if someone
Make sure no one was trespassing. And if I found someone trespassing, report it to the shift supervisor. Who would call the police.
So you weren't even supposed to call the police?
No.
What did they tell you? What if someone saw you and pulled a gun on you? What did they say to do?
They didn't tell me anything like that. They didn't say, this is how you react in case there is a trespasser. There was nothing like that.
How long was the training for this security job at Raytheon?
5 minutes.
Why would you even hire anyone?
I don't know.
And keep the lights on.
I don't know.
Like if you're not even going to tell them what to do,
Just lock up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just lock
exactly.
the
If there's some skinny woodwind kid that you're gonna you're not even gonna tell him what to do, like. So that means if someone put a gun to John's head, not like they could have trained him out of this, but like at least there'd be like an SOS button or some like kind of like way that like
there was no panic button that we had we carried. There was
or like a cyanide pill, so you couldn't give away secrets.
They didn't let you wear a life alert around your neck?
We got a walkie-talkie and a flashlight. That's what we had.
The walkie-talkie. See, I ask, and he says nothing. It turns out he had a flashlight and a walkie-talkie.
Okay, yes.
If someone would have came up to you and they said like no weapon, but they're like, hey, I'm going to hit you in the face unless you get rid of all your walkie-talkie and everything and, like, walk me into this certain room. Would you have fought back?
No.
Of course not.
No.
And that's neither would I. And that's the whole point that I'm making is, like, why even hire the guy? Like, is it an insurance thing? It must be an insurance thing. Like, in order to, like, get insurance or something that they had to have.
Did you have access to rooms, or were you just literally walking the halls and you couldn't get into anywhere?
No, I had access to rooms.
Okay.
You did?
Yes.
Now, did you screw around and, like, look around?
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Was there anything cool?
2:45 in the morning, you know.
Oh, no, I understand. I did. I mean, believe me, I understand.
You find a lot of ways to keep yourself entertained.
Yeah,
at
you
2:45.
Did you yank it in every room?
Sure.
Now, okay, but
you make sure there are no cameras on the walls.
Now, were there a bunch of places that you had access to, and then some that you didn't?
Yes.
Now were you curious what was behind those doors?
Yes.
Did you ask?
Yes. And I was not told anything. This is like, no, you can't go in there. This is an important defense contractor thing. There are certain things you're not allowed to see.
Now, when you quit, were you quit or did you get fired?
I quit.
Did they even like pump you like not to tell people anything about it?
Yes, they said specifically.
That's when they start training.
Don't tell anyone what you've seen under penalty of this, that, and the other. We're an active defense contractor. You can't divulge information.
Did you feel like you were being followed or anything afterwards?
No, I did not.
Seems like a pretty lax operation at the time. Now, this is the 80s, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
This is the height of the Cold
late
War.
Late 80s, early 90s.
What was the most interesting thing that you saw when you were poking around in those rooms?
Oh, they were like tanks and hangars and things like that.
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
Did you ever climb in a tank?
That was in Bedford, yes.
Yeah, you did.
Of course I did.
Did you pretend you were in Best Defense, the Eddie Murphy movie?
What's that?
Did you pretend you were in Best Defense, the Eddie Murphy movie?
You mean the Dudley Moore movie?
That is true. That should have done something. Two very funny men.
Movie.
Oh, I saw it in the theater.
Oh, it was awful.
I was a little kid.
Isn't Eddie Murphy in that for like 5 minutes?
I know it was like a throwaway. Yeah, like there was like he was in the poster like winking in a tank. It was like very Beverly Hills Cop on the nose. And so they spent more time talking to you when you were done than when you started.
Pretty much.
That is something else. They didn't give you any training, so you could have just been killed.
Pretty much. Yeah. Looking back on it, sure.
How long did you do it?
Not long. It's a matter of months. It wasn't like 6 months. It wasn't very long.
Was the pay good? Like better than other jobs?
Yes.
What were the other people that worked there like on your shift?
Pretty much the same. Pretty much the same as me. I wasn't the only I mean, there weren't like a lot of martial artists working with me.
Were there like dregs of society working there? I mean, that's an overnight security gig.
There was one guy who was actively drinking on the job.
Yeah, well, that's why you'd get that job. Yeah, and there's no you didn't have to hide it either. I would imagine. Yeah,
no, you didn't.
Yeah,
you'd show up. There'd be like one command center when the shift supervisor was walking around. This guy would get the command center job. He was easily in his 50s.
All right,
and you'd see the bottle of Jack like right there on the counter.
Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, John is a complete idiot. You think when he put down the Swank magazine and actually worked there, they made Patriot missiles, not Scud missiles.
Yeah,
Scud missiles are what the Iraqi used.
Yeah,
Okay.
dumbass. Thank you, Chris.
My mistake. Sorry.
I don't even believe you worked there. Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm picturing John like a die-hard situation. But who do we got in there? This is John Wallach. I'm a security guard, damn it.
Yeah.
You meant to back off.
Yeah, and he gets into a crawl space so he can lure females in that can't fit because of their butts.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
He has this dream where there's like a lady stuck in a crawl space and John's stuck behind her with his face in her butt.
Oh, why didn't you go? Why didn't you go head first down into that tank?
Yeah.
And if he gets stuck about halfway down, oh boy,
I'll tell you, you take a wrong turn on like X-Hamster or something, you find the lady stuck in a washing machine. That's like a whole thing. Or stuck under the bed. That's like a whole genre. Hello. Matt, go ahead.
John, I'm curious how you passed your background check for Raytheon. I used to work there, and it's pretty serious. I'm also kind of curious, Fred, if his interview was for 5 minutes, how would Radzik have done it?
Oh, boy. I'm not looking for anyone to bust me. You'll know that they are mean business because they sound like Drago. Here's your training. Go home and watch Rocket 3. The bad guy is tall and blonde.
Well, what should I do if I see strangers outside the perimeter of the fence there?
If they have on red, white, and blue stripes, salute. If they look tall, blonde, and have tall, blonde girlfriends, be wary.
If something does go wrong, should I call you?
Call my friend Yakov. He knows what they do in Russia. His last name's Smirnov. All right, very good. Well, John, listen, that's very interesting. I am interested that I would have played in the tanks too, but I'm interested that they didn't ask you anything about yourself. Here you go, kid. Go at it. It's the middle of the Cold War. Just have at it. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Warm chocolate chip cookies.
banter.
Well, we're getting there. Obviously, both me and Casey and Pavs had some injury trouble, and I think we're getting back into the chemistry and stuff and reading off each other, so creating chances. So.
Toucher and Hardy. Fluto Shinzawa is a senior NHL writer for The Athletic covering the Boston Bruins. Fluto knows everything. Fluto, hello, sir.
Good morning, Fred.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Following your writing, let's start. Pastrnak and McAvoy have been out. Let's start with McAvoy. What is the news on him?
I asked Charlie yesterday because he said he had lost almost 20 pounds. He said he plays around 215, 216. He was below 200, which is remarkable given how short, how little time it takes these guys to lose so much weight when they're just completely shut it down. But he's gained back half the weight, still not eating solid food. That's 6 weeks out from the surgery. But given all that, they still think that he can play, even though clearly he's still compromised, that he can give you a certain percentage of his game before that 6 week period, and he's not at risk of further injury. He'll be wearing the full cage, full bubble. So yes, he's optimistic that maybe it's not tonight against St. Louis, but sometime during this 3-game trip that Charlie will be back.
And was that the expectation?
No.
Because we had heard, Olympics.
No, it was. I wasn't sure. Regarding the time frame, but the way that Charlie made it sound, he was like we knew that 6 week period until the injury was considered fully healed and that he could start eating real food. But he made it sound like he could play before that time period. So no, Olympics was never in doubt for him.
Oh, interesting. Now let's get to Pastrnak. What's his health situation?
Kind of the same thing. He who knows if it will be tonight against the Blues, but yes, sometime during this 3-game trip, David expects to play. We'll see. He skated yesterday, said he felt good, so he doesn't need that much time in terms of practice, preparation, reps, in terms of morning skate and practice and all that. So whenever he says he's good to go, they'll let him in.
Fluto, it's amazing to me because you could argue Pastrnak and McAvoy are 2 of the 3 or 4 most valuable players on this team. Yet they haven't looked better all year. How do you explain this?
I think that reflects how they've comprehended what the coach wants to do. That, of course, it's going to be peaks and valleys in terms of executing their system, but like we all see now what they have to do, and we all see when it's not going right. That especially defensive zone, they know. Okay, if I'm a forward, I'm not gonna switch when the puck goes up high. I'm gonna follow the puck carrier. If I'm a defenseman, I've got to go, and I'm not necessarily folding back to the front of the net like I used to in years past. Like my job is to take out that puck carrier down low, even if there are threats in the area. So I think that regardless of the personnel, the execution is to the point where the coach is satisfied and knows that, okay, yeah, I don't have the top dogs on there all the time, but the people that I have are going to do what I'm asking them to do. And what is the result? The result is that they're going to be stiff in the neutral zone in terms of letting pucks through. That in the defensive zone, okay, it's going to get squirrely like it did against New Jersey for several shifts, extended shifts. But for the most part, they know what to do.
Is your opinion changing of the goaltending tandem based on the way Swayman and Korpisalo have been playing lately?
I think I don't know about change, but Jeremy he's on it right now.
Right.
So do you play him more? Yes, I think you do. Of course, you have to keep in mind that with this schedule, it's brutal. Like after this 3-game trip, you come right back, and I don't know if there are any days off, like two day periods off that remain throughout the season that are extended. So yes, you do have to manage and you do have to check in with Jeremy and see, okay, do you need a break? But absolutely, two out of three out of four, it's Jeremy's net.
Okay, so you wrote about this. Morgan Geekie, very interesting, is second by quite a bit in goals in the NHL, meaning that he's over third place. And not only is he playing this well for the Bruins, he's Canadian. And this leads to some conversation about him being on Team Canada, which is, you were the first.
Unbelievable.
John sent me the article. It was the first I never even thought of that. Can you kind of get into the thought process there?
It's wild, right? Considering that this is a guy that wasn't even close to being under consideration for that Four Nations roster, just because of who he was and what his history was. But you look at it, it's not just this season, right? It's for the whole calendar year. There's nobody with more goals, which is Canadian, Belarusian, Russian, whoever. Like he's number one, which is not nothing in terms of picking an Olympic roster, right? Okay, yes, there are other players that play better defense. He doesn't kill penalties. There are other players who are centers who can play wing, which is not him. But goal scoring is goal scoring. So if you're Team Canada and you're thinking, okay, short tournament and the checking is going to be super tight, this guy is always open. Always. Like, look at the goal he scores against New Jersey. Wide open. It's like, how does this guy who has so many goals, 46 goals in 2025, how the heck does he get open like that? That's a skill. That is a knack, and that's an awareness of where you are, where the puck is going, where the play is going to be made. And that is such a skill that he has. And then the shot. Like right now, I think last I checked, he's got the hardest shot in the league so far this year. 100-something, 106, something like that. And the wrist shot is excellent. We've seen how well he can tip pucks. So you consider all that, and yes, the competition is crazy hard for him. And he acknowledged it. He's like, I talked to him in LA maybe 3 weeks ago, and he's like, realistically, who am I beating out on the roster? But like several goals later, he is right in the thick of it. So like maybe he's not top 6 guy to start, but how could you leave this guy at home when nobody's a better goal scorer in the league than Morgan Geekie?
It's interesting because like the names on this list, there are like real studs. You know, like you have the list that you provide. You have Mitch Marner, and you think of Mark Stone and Tom Wilson, like these guys, and
Crosby, McKinnon.
Well, yeah, but those guys already made the team. But these are guys that like Geekie would be, you know, battling for these positions with, and it's something else. To how big a bargain is that contract?
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like and several stages of ridiculous, right? The fact that Seattle doesn't even qualify him and makes him a free agent. So A, that's just a total flop on their part, and then B, wonderful work by management to identify Morgan as an unrestricted free agent that year and signed a 2-year, $4 million deal to get him to that threshold of getting in, getting comfortable, getting some time with Pastrnak, settling in, and then the 6-year, 33 point whatever extension. It's like that's half the price of McKinnon and neck and neck with McKinnon. Of course, everybody's going to take McKinnon head to head, but wow, is that deal terrific. So good on management to identify that this was not just flash in the pan, just Pastrnak giving him pucks, that this was a legitimate goal scorer. And maybe in hindsight, who knows, maybe Morgan goes for more money, but for a guy like that who's been a kind of a perimeter player in terms of being like not even like settled top 6 guy, to get 6-year deal, that is big time mental and of course financial security. So yeah, it's terrific to see. You love to see that kind of ascent for players, and then for teams to hit on that. That's grand slam all the way around.
Is there any discussion as to like how this has happened with Geeky and like his ascension, or are they just willing to accept it and say, "Hey, this is great. Let's not analyze it too
line
much."
Wing in Seattle. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, there's so many degrees to it. Of course, it's getting to play with Pastrnak. So what does that do? That establishes the confidence, that gets him pucks. That's okay. He says, okay, well, if I can get super feeds and get the puck in scoring position, well, look what I can do when that happens. That gives me the confidence. And so when he's not playing with David, now he knows, okay, if I can hit my spots and arrive on time and be where I need to be, then I can still score. And then you look at like he's pretty dialed in with his stuff, like with his stick. I've talked to him about this in the past. Like he is aware of what he needs with his stick. He's looked at his curve. He's looked at other guys' curves. He's pretty he's nerdy when it comes to the graphics on his stick and how he feels and the flex. And so there's so many variables that are involved. But it's on the player. Like it's just, and Marco says it all the time. Like he's already noticed, like this guy works at his craft. So it's a really good template for a lot of other players to see, because this, like, who would have thought?
Yeah,
that he would, like, nobody, not even him. Nobody.
The key is he's scoring goals without Pastrnak there. That's the thing. That's the biggest difference for me.
All right.
Huge. Yeah.
All right. Listen, Fluto, read him in The Athletic. He's the best. We appreciate it. Great information. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, guys. My pleasure.
Thanks,
all right.
Fluto.
Appreciate it. There you go. Fluto Shinzawa. We'll be back in just a moment. There is a new documentary coming out that is of great interest to everyone. And then it goes along with a text chain that happened after the show yesterday, where as much as I'm obsessed with this story, I didn't even know what was going on, but I like that it was being sent. I had that. Everyone knew but me. I didn't. Everyone's more on the ball than me. No surprise. We'll be back in just a moment.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots practice.
listen to Touch Your Hardy.
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Yesterday we were talking about the massive brawl on the street at the Nantucket Stroll. And everything that says stroll is automatically awful, and everything that says Nantucket is automatically awful. So the entitled pussies that infest the town for one day in December got into quite a little scuffle.
Where are the police?
Right. Where they should be, at home, ignoring you, hoping you all just, it's process of elimination, and that evolution takes control and you all off yourselves.
Well, I think other police officers would answer that. Well, the real police are on the mainland in actual cities that, require policing. Nantucket, I don't know. You have law enforcement, sure.
Well, they have quite an opiate problem apparently in the off season, so maybe they can get that under control. They have my feeling is they have other things to worry about. Well, Bert is no stranger to the group text. So yesterday, Bert texted Hardy, Wallach, and I a screenshot and says, "Look who tweeted that, or posted that to her IG story. I mean, and it's a picture of Bill Belichick's ex-girlfriend, whatever her name is, and
Linda Holiday.
Linda Holiday, and Linda Holiday's got like a Santa thing on, and a little like a novelty thing on her head that says Merry Christmas, and it says the Stroll Queen at Linda Holiday, with I guess that's a heart, whatever it is, and it's from Jenny B. And so this is sent to us, and I say I see Linda Holiday, so I think this is obviously somewhat Belichick adjacent. So I'm intrigued enough to respond. John automatically knows. I don't know how he knows. The person next to Linda Holiday looks like it could be like the female keyboard player for the Allman Brothers band or something. There's like a whole motif happening.
Yeah.
It's not an unattractive woman, but it's like a woman with a whole 70s style getup on with a big hat and everything. But it turns out that woman attending the stroll, populated with so many pieces of garbage, is not a piece of garbage herself, but part of the resistance.
Good way of putting it.
That's right. And that is, and so I go, what's going on? And Hardy goes, that's Jen Belichick. So Hardy knew as well. So Jen Belichick, Steve Belichick's wife, correct?
Yes.
The mother of grandchildren to the Belichick is hanging out with Linda Holiday and publicly putting it out there, which any way you slice it, there is no way that you can say it, I won't even entertain it, that is not an act of war on the side of Jen Belichick. That is a public F both of you. I not only am I going to yell and scream, you want to go to page 6, here I am commiserating with your ex, who, may be living in some of your properties. I don't know what the deal is. She obviously still has got a situation going in Nantucket. I mean, think about your own family and if that happened. If, like, your sister was feuding with your father and started putting up pictures of her with his ex. It's a long way to go because it's kind of like a out there situation. But, I mean, she couldn't be more non-supportive of the Jordan Hudson.
This is, a week after that story blows up about however long it was, that 40-minute explosion at a North Carolina game. The week after, she posts a photo with his ex, who he dated for 15 years. That's a confirmation of, yes, that story's true, and yes, I can't stand her.
With incredible luck and good genetics, which Bill does not seem to be blessed with based on his masticatia or whatever that breast condition he has is, with his elaborately supple boobs that are huge on him. He's lucky if he's got 16 years left. That's a pretty nice. That's 90. I mean, that's a good amount of life. He wants to lose everything, publicly lose his family, not see the grandkids. I don't know how those kids are still working for him. I don't know why. What's going on psychologically that Steve Belichick still wants to be the defensive coordinator for his dad?
Okay, so and I was, I think, alone in this. I didn't understand why he took the job in the first place.
I didn't either.
Okay, all right. So you're with me on that.
Of course, he was the Oregon. Or Washington defense coordinator. He was fine. He wasn't a bad defense coordinator.
Washington was really good defensively,
and in North Carolina wasn't bad defensively once they got it together. They improved as the season went on.
And I get the impression that he was making enough of a name for himself away from his father to where he could follow his own coaching path.
Yes.
And say, look, I did the big thing, which was get away from the Patriots, get away from the umbrella and the shadow of my dad, and start forging my own path out there and doing it on my own. When he went to North Carolina, the only thing I can think of, well, it's an almost guarantee that you will take over as head coach here in X number of years, 3, 5 at the most.
Okay,
so
but
here's your first head coaching job.
But stay at Washington, then get the head coaching job at Troy.
He would have gotten it sooner if he had stayed where he was.
No,
if you're a good defensive coordinator in a power conference,
maybe not. But what he would have had to do is put 5 years in at a mid-major. That's what he would have had to do. It's hard to get a head coaching job at like a school, like a power conference. Like it's more difficult than just being a defensive coordinator. He'd probably have to get a job in college, but so what? You get a job at like UConn, that might be a little high, but you get a job like at Troy or something like that, and you have success there for 5 years, and then you pivot and you get a bigger job, and then there's no debating it because you were a head coach on your own. Taking the head coaching job just by straight on the table nepotism when you've never had a head coaching job is an awful situation to put yourself in. That's a terrible situation. Better to try and fail on your own than take the job under those circumstances. There's always going to be that. I just don't know how they do it. Something's obviously going on in that family that none of us can figure out, and I won't even pretend to know, because he feels like he has to make something up to them, and they feel like they owe something to him. Like, this is all very odd to me.
But going back through this original thing we were talking about and the post from Jen Belichick with Linda Holliday at the Stroll, I went back and looked at Linda Holliday's Instagram post from the Stroll, and I was reminded as she showed a picture of her 2 daughters who DJ the big party, the event, for the Stroll, the nighttime event that everyone wants to go to, is the one that Jordan showed up at with another pageant contestant, Miss whatever. I'm not going to say who because I don't want to upset Miss Teen USA or Miss USA or whatever else, but they were the ones that caused, there was the big stir and the big ruckus, and how that was the ultimate faux pas for Jordan and her friend to show up at an event where Linda Holliday's daughters were DJing. But there was a photo of the most recent one up there. It makes me want to go to the Stroll. It makes me want to be a part of this next year, Fred. Maybe a show trip is in order.
I'm not above places where there are wealthy people. Nantucket is, again,
find yourself a sugar mama?
No better than the Cape Cod, the Vineyard, Newport. There's nothing better about it. The only reason people go there is because they're dicks. And that's my issue with it. There are some places that are just standalone beautiful, like Anguilla. Like, what are you going to do? Like, things are going to be expensive, but you pay the price. You pay the fare. Nantucket's just in December and the summer. It's just the
beaches.
tick lime-infested dump. But people have decided, and all dicks, every one of them's a bigger a-hole than the next. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with Andrew Callahan, who has a place in Nantucket.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the
open indoor practice yesterday in Foxborough. There was good news on the injury front. Offensive lineman Jared Wilson, defensive lineman Karis Tonga, and special teams ace Brendan Schooler all out there. They got a home game coming up against Buffalo on Sunday. Harold Landry and Terrell Jennings were missing. Patriots visit Baltimore a week from Sunday. The NFL yesterday flexed that game from a 1 p.m. kickoff to 8:20. The Chargers beat Philadelphia in overtime last night, 22-19. Indianapolis is going to work out 44-year-old retired quarterback Phillip Rivers today. The Bruins playing St. Louis tonight to begin a 3-game road trip. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30. The face-off at 8 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Charlie McAvoy skated without a red non-contact jersey on at practice yesterday. David Pastrnak wore one but was on the ice. Marco Sturm's thinking both could be back soon.
For us, we just want to make sure they're going to be ready to go physically, mentally. We don't want to rush things, but both look good right now. Hopefully on the road at one point they can play.
Both traveled with the team to St. Louis. As far as the Red Sox go, they are involved at Major League Baseball's winter meetings in Orlando. The New York Post reports they'll meet with Pete Alonso as soon as today. 7 News in Boston adds they have already conducted a Zoom meeting with Toronto free agent shortstop Bo Bichette. And last but not least, Celtics off until Thursday night when they go to Milwaukee. Yesterday, Jaylen Brown voted the Eastern Conference's Player of the Week. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Service Credit Union. They team with Charlie McAvoy for 73 reasons to provide funding and health screens for first responders. Learn more at servicecu.org/73. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Mays under center, off center.
Drake
He jumps up, throws down. Drake rolls forward, wrecking traffic. Off balance, throw it to the end zone. Caught by the pass is going to be.
Drake May plays on one station in Boston.
Here's another Drake May moment. Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Toucher and Hardy.
Such an fantastic explosion.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
You have to rely on, young guys that you draft.
And repair experts, visit them at ramjack.com. Hi, Andrew.
Hello. Good morning. Good to be back.
Everything was so interesting last week. I don't believe we got to 2 stats and a lie. That will happen today. Don't you worry.
Great.
I hope you came prepared.
Oh, yeah.
That will happen at the end of his appearance here. Now,
are you repurposing last week's?
We had a couple holdovers.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. You keep that. You just tweak them and refine them. But don't refine them too much. Sometimes you got to go on instinct. All right, so this was interesting from Joe Murray last night, and interesting in a lot of ways, societal and in well as football. Is the Bills' early line is it's -1.5. The Bills are favored by 1.5. Joe Murray was saying the look-ahead line before the season was 8.5. So that just shows you how much the Patriots have improved. That seemed fair to you, first of all, that the 7-point swing and the fact that the Buffalo is still favored?
I would have believed any line from 1.5, the Patriots are favored to underdog. So that 3-point swing, I would have believed. I don't, at this point in the season, care much about the look-ahead lines. You're talking about like what they were in the summer.
It's just evidence of another way of looking at it, how much it's improved.
Right.
Just
the gap is closed. I got you.
Like it's if you're running out of ways to be surprised, this is sort of like a concrete example of numerically how the perspective of this team has shifted.
Yes. And I think those are also a reflection of, when I talk about, Phil Perry talks about EPA, DVOA. DVOA is down on the Patriots relative to the record because it factors in the schedule, and the people in Vegas will use their own systems that are you would call and fall into the category of analytics, and that shows you, hey, the Patriots have got a 2-game lead on the Bills. They've already beaten them, but our numbers and the way they played show that Vegas thinks, even on the road, the Bills are the better team.
Okay, and what was interesting is Joe said this was pissing people off, that the Patriots were dogs, which is... Honestly, it might not be for other people, and if it's not, then you guys let me know by putting the brakes on this. But I am literally fascinated with that. That a fan of a team will look at a Vegas line that they think is a mistake and yell about it instead of going, my good fortune. If Vegas seems to have made a mistake, let's take advantage of this. What's going on? Explain to me what's going on with Patriot fans. You deal with them all the time. What what is the constant need, or am I off base? Is there a constant need to be upset about something at some outside force?
So last night we watched the Eagles, right? Just poop all over themselves. And coming into that game,
I didn't watch the Eagles do it.
We heard like how upset their fans were, and everyone makes, I can't wait to hear Philly radio callers phone in the next day. I think it's a Northeast thing.
But the Eagles fans are mad at the Eagles. The Eagles fans, no matter what the Eagles do, want the coach fired and hate all the players. The Patriot fans, not Boston sports fan, Patriots fans are mad at everyone but the team.
They're mad that people have disrespected their franchise.
This is why it's unique. You listen to Philadelphia Sports Talk Radio.
Right.
We've done it before. We were going to do a bit about it before, but all they do is crap on the team.
Yeah,
they're mad at the team, the ownership. They're mad at they hate everyone but that security guard.
They egged the offensive coordinator's house last week.
Yeah, they're psychos, but at least they just hate the team.
But it's team related.
At least they didn't throw snowballs at Santa. That would really be crossing a line. Oh, look,
Wait, I never heard about.
So my point is, I guess it's different shades of misery, and not that Patriots fans are miserable. It's just a general Northeast outlook specific to this season. I think when things are going so well, you've got an MVP at quarterback, and your old player is back as your head coach, and you're 11-2. You look for things that would be bulletin board material. So this would be a classic example. If you're not yelling at me as a reporter or other members of the media, you yell at Vegas. So I don't know what it is. I think ultimately, when they come back this strongly, and you go, they've got the best record. Why aren't we favored in every single game? It's a reasonable question, but you take a deeper look, and it's easy to understand why. So they just don't want to do it. You just look and see the best record and go, why isn't the team with the best record favored? And that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a reasonable line. I said this before the Giants game that, that Bills game. If you're looking at them not running the table and a game that is reasonable to think they might lose or even are likely to lose, it's that Bills game. Even though it's at Gillette Stadium. It's tough to beat a good team in your division twice in a year. It's tough for any team. And to think that somehow they're being doubled down on by also not being favored in that game, I don't understand it either, other than what I said earlier and what John just said. They view it as being disrespected.
Well, plus the Patriots also beat them. So you're like, we've already done this once, and we saw how that movie went in your place. So why, when we come to our place, when we've won, speaking as a fan here, 10 in a row.
Would Raiders fans be equally upset if they played the Raiders again and the Raiders were somehow underdogs in that matchup? They beat them. The Raiders beat them. How are we not favored against the Patriots?
I think Raiders fans are hibernating right now.
Yeah.
We're not going to see them until the springtime.
Well, it's just a different mindset, obviously.
I get it, because when I first came onto the beat, it was 2018. You're coming off that Eagles Super Bowl. They go to another Super Bowl. And you have the Miami Miracle, and okay, bad things happen. But there was a lot of feedback of like, why isn't this as good as it should be? Like, that's the championship standard. So when I talk about shades of misery, it starts with you identify with your sports teams as much as possible. When things go poorly for them, that means things go poorly for you, and that's the way you feel it. But also, good is not just defined as a winning season. It's defined as championships. And even as good as things are here now, if you're not getting every little bit of respect and honor along the way, whether it's being favored or being picked in a game. Like, I picked the Giants 10 days ago, and I've never heard from more people in the entire season because I was wrong and how bad it was.
Yeah.
And that kind of slight and disrespect.
You disrespected them.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
I think there's a tremendous amount of pressure on Buffalo beyond the obvious because Kansas City and Baltimore are terrible.
Yep.
But Kansas City's not terrible.
This is their chance.
Baltimore is terrible. Kansas City's not terrible. Baltimore's terrible. I've told you they don't look like they're trying. But anyway, and the Patriots should easily beat Baltimore. They really should easily beat Baltimore. I don't even know if Lamar Jackson plays in that game. If they end up being basically eliminated at that, I guess they couldn't be. I don't know. They could be 2 games behind the Steelers.
Another loss this weekend and things change.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't even. So it's like, do you want to just keep punishing this kid? But anyway. I do believe Buffalo has a tremendous amount of pressure on them because of the failures of Kansas City and Baltimore, that this is like the year that they're the only blue blood. They have to be aware of that. They have to be aware that like there's never going to be a better opportunity
There's
than now.
Mahomes. There's no Burrow standing in your way.
Yeah. Is that this is the idea is that you are the team with the best pedigree left.
The best quarterback.
And the best quarterback left, even though Drake May isn't the veteran, but, you close your eyes and who knows what if you just
Well, if you're the Bills, you're saying we have
Josh Allen,
the best quarterback.
I mean,
resume,
you would
MVP.
Everyone in a game right now would take Josh Allen over Drake May for a game right now today, not tomorrow, but today. You would not take. Josh
I'm
Allen.
just curious if we're going to get a call in 30 seconds about the disrespect of that pick statement that you made. That's all that I'm smirking about.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I'd probably, I guess,
there.
or Fred's obsessed about what the fans think. Yeah,
that's what it comes down to, though. Like, I think your point is totally spot on. Is that the Bills look at this and go, "It's wide open for all the reasons you laid out," and it starts with Josh Allen. And the only team that's really, really in their way with a quarterback that could match him is the one that's already beaten him head-to-head and playing better than him right now in the AFC, and the only quarterback that's doing that. It is Drake May. So to me, yes, this game is huge. They win the division title. This goes beyond that. The Patriots are in Josh Allen's way so long as Drake May is here, which means the Patriots are in the Bills' way so long as Drake May is here. And that is a big problem for them, not just this season, but years
and
down
so
the line.
add another log to it because the Patriots aren't going to get any worse conceivably. Like, they're just going to continue to build around May. I mean, Diggs is old, but other than that, you're pretty young. I guess you've played more rookies than any other team, and the other teams that have played rookies are the Jets and Texans and, really not Texans, Tennessee, really bad teams.
I saw a graphic snap count by rookies. What are they, number 2, number 1?
I think they might be
NFL?
number 1,
Yeah.
and the other teams that have done it are terrible and devoid of talent. So, look, if you're the Bills and you're looking at the Patriots team, again, they should – are they going to have a better record? Are they going to win 10 in a row? No, I probably won't win 10 in a row next year. But, again, I'm sorry that upsets anyone.
Careful.
But in theory, playoff time, they should be as good, if not better, right? So catch May in his second year rather than his fourth or fifth, right? You think you get better. You have the veteran quarterback. So if there's a lot of pressure on Buffalo with the failure, on top of everything, the failures in the AFC of the great teams, and this is your year really to win, this is kind of a must-win game for them.
I think they still feel, even if they lose Sunday, and they've earned this as a team that has the MVP and has been to the divisional round each of the last 5 years. If we lose, speaking as the Bills, by 3, we still feel like we could go to Foxborough in the divisional round or wild card round and still beat them.
Oh, boy. But if you come in and kick their ass, like if they come in and win by a couple touchdowns or win by 10 points.
Who does?
Buffalo.
Okay.
No. If Buffalo comes in and gets blown out, I mean, then that's that. You've been beat twice, and you're
then we start booking San Francisco.
It's already been done, and we're not on the itinerary. But and Beasley's were not happy. They wanted to spend that money. Believe me, they're pretty sore at me. I mean, you keep wedging that knife in, and but don't be listening.
Okay, so in terms
but hang on. But if the Patriots blow out Buffalo, it's over. I mean, the Buffalo's on the road 3 games. They can't beat. It's been proven they're by far an inferior team. And if they win, it's interesting. Buffalo won. You split it. Here we go. And now we're getting the hypotheticals. But if Buffalo comes in and kicks the Patriots' ass, then it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's more interesting, I think, if Buffalo wins on Sunday.
Oh, by far it's more interesting if they win. But if they kick their ass, which I obviously don't think is going to happen, and no one does. Vegas doesn't. But if they do, that kind of resets things. It doesn't mean that the Patriots aren't going to make the Super Bowl. But it certainly is like, oh, that's sobering. Certainly it would be sobering, right? Yeah. I think even more than losing to the Giants on Monday Night Football, getting your ass kicked, even though the Giants are a crappy team, that's a throwaway game. It was before a bye. They've won in 10. They've won 9 in a row. Right? Yeah. They're dealing with injury. They're it's hard. Buffalo. You've had a bye week. this is a game that's very important. You haven't played a lot of good teams, and this is an opportunity. Yeah, if they get killed, that would be fascinating and very interesting.
I think there's a lot of truth in what you said about there being a very narrow window that's open. You're not going to face Lamar Jackson more than likely in the playoffs. You're definitely not going to face Joe Burrow. You may not face You're probably not going to face Patrick Mahomes. How many years where all three quarterbacks miss the playoffs or you won't see them? And you catch Drake May when he's young. If you have Drake May, like Fred said, in year 4, 5, or 6, assuming he stays healthy, he's going to be better than he is now. How many years is Buffalo going to get this harmonic convergence? I mean, this is their chance. Even if they don't win against the Patriots, the pressure to play well is there as well. Yeah. Not only now, but in the playoffs.
Harmonic convergence.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so
bringing it on a Tuesday.
Yeah, not really.
I want to ask
Wordsmith, talk to me.
I want to ask Andrew 2 things, and we can do it next. Yeah. I want to ask him about current health issues on the team right now, and I also want to know about Mike Vrabel after the bye, and if you put anything into that historically, all that stuff. So
everything's on the table historically. Anything you want to talk about. Woodrow Wilson, anything. We'll open up the books. Don't worry about it.
The New Deal.
All right.
Monroe Doctrine.
Monroe Doctrine. That's the
Weren't you a history major?
Doctrine. I was, and I remember everything, as you probably do too. It was an effort just to learn that whole time. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Yeah, the focus is on Buffalo. They're a great team. They played a great game versus Cincinnati. Now we're back to, our business.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Andrew Callahan from the Herald is here. Hardy, you had some things you wanted to ask him.
Number one, health-wise, what's going on? All this talk of Will Campbell walking around without a boot and all this stuff. What do we got? Give me the quick injury update and on the important players. They're all important, Andrew, but you know what I'm saying.
No disrespect, Hardy, please. Not like Vegas. I got to shout out my guy, Doug Hyde. He was down at Foxborough for us yesterday at the Herald. I was not. And like you just referenced his tweet, Will Campbell walking around without a boot, did put a sleeve on, according to Doug later. And then at practice, you had Kairos Tonga back, which is big because the last time they played Buffalo, they flexed into this 3-4 front, bigger bodies. You need guys who are 330 pounds like Kairos Tonga. Brendan Schooler was back. And so the only guys you're really missing, Jared Wilson as well, are the guys on IR who don't have a chance to play anyway.
Okay.
So far, so good. Wilson, I'd still be a little hesitant about projecting him to play because a high ankle sprain is a serious injury. But, I mean, this is the first time he's practiced since the injury, and that's a good sign.
Okay.
Landry, real quick because we didn't bring him up.
No, Landry, yeah.
Did he get, is that a Veterans Day off?
That would be my sense. They don't have to report on a Monday. It didn't. So we'll get a chance to talk to Mike Vrabel tomorrow. He typically, gives it up and right before practice, hey, this is who's going to practice. This is who's not. This is the reason why. We'll see. Landry, though, they've been managing – not just in terms of veteran rest. He's been banged up for 2 months. So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if said, take another day. We'll see you Wednesday.
Okay. Do you put any stock in what coaches do after the bye? And by the way, I think this happened with Tampa when the Patriots played the Buccaneers earlier this year. Weren't the Bucs coming off a bye that week?
I think so, yeah.
And we're saying, the Bucs are coming off a bye. Then you look at the history of them and that coach coming off the bye. Not good. So do you put any stock in that? And what is Vrabel's track record?
If you've coached, I don't want to say like 5 years, you get a bigger sample, then I'll start to put stock into it. If you're 0-5 or 5-0, Mike Vrabel's 6-0. What do we know about Mike Vrabel? He's a good tactician, and he knows how to motivate as well, if not better, than every other coach in the league. So when you need a team that's coming off of a break and been on their couch or traveling or hanging out to come back and snap them back into focus, he's the guy to do it. And when you're strategizing with extra time, he's going to take advantage of it. And when you look at other coaches, who are even better than Mike, Andy Reid, for example, like that was everyone's favorite stat is Andy Reid hasn't lost after a bye week since he was in Pee Wee football. Like I think that holds up with the better coaches, and Vrabel's obviously among them.
All right. Do you think that John Harbaugh is going to keep his job, or should he?
I don't think he will. And this is the dart throw, right, from me from this far out. But you look at the way they've cycled through offensive coordinators and the coordinators around him. Inevitably, just over time, sometimes the message just doesn't get through from the head coach anymore.
He's been there 16 years. Like, he's been there a very long time.
Yes.
Is it 16 years? Something like that.
It's just a year or two fewer than Tomlin, who we were talking last week about. Should he go? And then he does that.
I think Tomlin's been there 19 years because I think Tomlin took the job right around when I moved here. I think Cowher's last year might have been 2006. My brain's not a computer, Andrew. Stop asking me to offer all this information.
Well, look, the Harbaugh
18 years Harbaugh's been there?
Harbaugh's been there 18. He's been the head coach
18 years.
This is his 18th.
Yeah, all right. So
think about the way they've lost, too, right?
They look completely uninspired, completely unmotivated.
Broken.
They look broken. Like, they just, the way they carry themselves offensively looks like they don't care. Other than the kid from BC, he's the only one who seems to be the receiver from BC. Flowers. He's the only one who seems to have any energy on that team. Derrick Henry seems checked out. Lamar Jackson seems hurt and checked out. Throwing terrible interceptions. Like, I mean, I would be reticent to do it, and I'm sure. And would you hire, I guess if you're the Giants, would you hire Harbaugh, or would you want to take a year off? Like, just get a year off of coaching.
If I'm the Giants, I would hire him in a split second.
Would you hire him before Tomlin if both were available?
Yes. I think as much as I bring up the offensive coordinator point, and it's really, really close. Like those guys are somewhere in your top 10 of coaches, top 12 at worst. Tomlin's record of hiring certain offensive coordinators lately until Arthur Smith was really bad. And if you're just going to be a defensive guy, you need to nail those hires. Harbaugh's done that better, but again, at some point, your voice doesn't get through. When the Ravens are losing big games at the end, right? Last year in the playoffs against Buffalo, you had the AFC Championship game against Kansas City in a game you should have won. It was at home. And the other piece about the Ravens is how many years we talked about them as the most talented team in the AFC. And this isn't the case there where they've got really, really good synergy. But often when the GM is in the same booth as the owner, before games, after games, sometimes during games, he's going, we got the guys. The roster's there. And Baltimore, look, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl the last 2 years. At some point, it's on coaching. And I think this year, absolutely, it has been.
Yeah, I mean, when you can see a team actively quit. Now, this was surprising, but during the Kansas City game, they were talking about the possibility of firing the coach or the GM. I don't know how you could fire Andy Reid at any point. God. Like, it just is ridiculous. But this is another thing that I got negative comments about. Guess what? Patrick Mahomes isn't surrounded by a lot of talent on offense. He's not. He's just not. That falls on someone. They haven't been great in the draft. Do you think they fire their GM? Like, the thing is, are these teams that have been, very good in like the head of the AFC outside of Buffalo coming in for some sort of reckoning, like resets? Are they front office guys? Coach is going to get fired. Our roster is going to get overturned. It doesn't seem Baltimore would have as much work to do as Kansas City, but Kansas City is kind of devoid of talent if you look at certainly skill position wise.
Well, they're just aging out, like Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, and then you mentioned the receivers. Like I don't think Matt Nagy, who's tight with Andy Reid and been their offensive coordinator, would go. The receivers coach, though, if you go, okay, we had peak Tyreek Hill, and we didn't need that after he left, but can we get something like 80% with all the draft capital we've invested? And I do think there are schematic issues. Like you listen to people who are good Chiefs analysts, just general NFL analysts, the amount of time they spend in shotgun, and they're not running the ball, not just because they can't block, but because they're not getting under center, which opens up their play action game, which when you're not throwing it like Mahomes has historically, you need that low-hanging fruit that is play action. We all know it, except for the Chiefs. So I do think there's probably lower-level moves, but ultimately you need an infusion of talent where they've had good drafts. Trent McDuffie, Karlaftis, whatever, but those are 3-4 years ago now. What about the drafts lately? You need to start hitting in the way that they haven't, and that's why they've been struggling, especially when now you're on the back end of the one-score games, right? Last year they were undefeated or whatever it was. This year they've been horrible in those close games.
And you also have a lot of extra football over the last decade, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's 20 extra games and a whole extra season because of all the playoff games they've played. I would guess extra fatigue and extra punishment has something to do with this.
Yeah, that's why I didn't pick them to win the AFC West before the season. I mean, I picked them to go to the playoffs, so this isn't a victory lap. But I just thought that same thing. Like, when does this catch up with them? Because they finished in February, and there were guys after that Super Bowl talking about, like, honestly, I just felt relief that it was over. I need a mental break. I need a physical break. It's not from the season. It's from the last 3-4 seasons when this is how far we go. And that's a blessing. Obviously, it's what everyone plays for. But there's a price to be paid. That energy has to come from somewhere. And it feels like they've run out in certain parts of the roster.
Okay. Indianapolis obviously is cooked. Like, they got to bring back Daniel Jones, right? Like, they're...
I don't know if he can play next year.
With the ACL.
Achilles,
rather.
Worse.
Sorry, Achilles, yeah. Yeah, if he could play next year. So Indianapolis is really into it.
No Anthony Richardson after injuring himself during the season?
Well, Anthony Richardson is...
He's awful. He's just awful.
Can we talk about the Schefter tweet announcing the Phillip Rivers
workout?
Yeah,
we haven't talked about that today. So if you don't know, Phillips Rivers is 44. But what's funnier than 44 is he's a grandfather, and they're using that as an age thing. And you're like, that's a lifestyle choice, baby. That ain't an age thing. That is a very, very spiritual decision. That is based on a dogma thoroughly into not wearing rubbers. That is a having a kid real young, and that kid having a kid real young. Yeah. Like, 44 is old for a professional athlete. Don't get me wrong. But it's
44 is absurdly young to be a grandfather.
It's more young to be a grandfather than it's old to be a football player.
Yes.
I got news for you. I'm 50. If I'm a grandfather at 55, something went wrong. And my kids are 17 and 15. If my kid has early 20s, 20 years old, all right, loser.
So he's going to work out for the Colts today. He has not played since 2020.
He's a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame this year.
He's very borderline.
So what's that? What is the notion or the belief that he's in anything close to football shape?
I don't know.
Coaching high school.
That's just going into your phone and being like, man, who used to play quarterback here? Who? I don't even. Peyton's. It's been a while. Who's the guy after? Oh, Phillip Rivers. Let's give him a call. Like the thing that got me though, like this is a big story. Don't get me wrong, but the way that Schefter very casually shoehorned into the tweet of like, well, the Colts need to work out Phillip Rivers to see what type of shape he is in. The former quarterback who is now a grandfather also needs to figure out whether he's willing to play per source. What?
Yeah.
That's such ancillary information and non sequitur, which is the only thing that I now care about for the reasons you outlined. 44 and a grandfather.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's supposed to be indicative of how old he is. But, I mean, if you told me he was a 39 and a grandfather, 44, 45, anything in a grandfather, anything below 60 to me is interesting. Conversational. Somewhere along the line there was a happy mistake. But, I mean, below the age of 50.
He's also got like a dozen kids. Speaking
more.
of
I think he has
Schefter,
more than a dozen kids, which is what the world needs.
Yes. The workout happened, and talks are ongoing. So there we go. Jeremy Fowler says, threw the ball well.
He was sort of fat at the end of his career, so I imagine he's coming in hot. Like, I wonder when he takes his he's a psycho. He'll probably like it. He'd probably like getting hit.
He played on a torn ACL in the AFC Championship game here. What was it? Well, like 18 years ago?
That was during the undefeated season. That
07?
was 07.
I was in Vegas
Yeah.
when he played that game. I thought that, boy, did I think they were going to win that game.
I'm rooting for him, though. I want to see
God.
this.
It'll be entertaining as hell.
Let me see it.
I don't know. It will be an interesting thing to read about. I'm not positive how much of that game any of you are going to consume, whoever they play next. I don't know if you're sitting down for a 3-hour ride of Phillip Rivers at quarterback. They're playing at the Seahawks at 4:25. If
Hell
you guys,
yeah.
if you want to spend a late afternoon, early evening just watching Phillip Rivers plot around and learn the offense, I would imagine right away. It shows how intricate NFL offenses are. If he can just go in on a Wednesday, a Tuesday, having never played football before, and suit up on Sunday and just start chucking it around.
Why do you think he had 11 kids so he can run plays at home? He's
got to have more than 11
He has
kids.
10.
There it is. So he's the 11th.
7 daughters, 3 sons.
He can't be done.
No.
That womb is still fertile.
Was he the guy that San Francisco called when they ran out of quarterbacks for the NFC Championship game? And Purdy couldn't lift his arm. Was Rivers
a good
the guy
call.
they called?
Yes, they did call Rivers.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think he's asking for? Like, talks are ongoing right now. If you're a grandfather at 44 and you got to go halfway across the country to play games, what do you want as the clause? Like, money is one thing. We all know you want money. What does he want?
I'd put a speaker behind the wall and go like, "This is God." That's what he wants. If you got that many grandkids at 44, what is he? I don't know.
Direct deposit into these 529 accounts here. I have them all listed.
Like no
That's
meetings
right, because
after
education is of the utmost to him. There's not like a very defined list of like Oral Roberts University, and that's it. You know he's with some kind of kooky cult-like university there in Southern California.
I think he's moving up. He's like, we need to move team dinners to 4, and there are no meetings.
These are all
after
age
5.
jokes. I get
Yes.
what you're doing. It's there you have it.
It's a weird situation, though. Like, if I were him, you've got leverage, clearly. They worked you out. They're talking to you still. They like what they saw, according to Fowler.
They're hanging on to this belief that they're going to make like some noise in the playoffs. If I just put a hold on everything. I wonder if they're going to try to get Kyler Murray. They don't have a first-round pick because they traded it for Sauce Gardner, and that pick might be okay now.
That makes sense.
If I'm them, I want Kyler Murray because you can't get. But then they'd have to give up so much draft capital in the future. But it's they feel like they're built to win now.
But isn't Arizona's like talking about cutting him loose, right?
I don't know if Arizona would cut him. I think Arizona could trade him. He's got apparently Kyler Murray's got 1 year left of like money, and I think that he would have to be leveraged out of there. But I don't know. I mean, they've obviously benched him in saying he's not playing again this season, which is like the field's sore knee, where now the Jets are in quite a pickle because they might need him to actually put on a uniform, and I don't know if he'll be over enthused to do that. All right, lots of interesting things with quarterbacks, but because the thing was Jacksonville getting rid of Trevor Lawrence, and that's not going to happen now.
No.
So if you look around the league, Kyler Murray, the backup guy in Philadelphia, is supposedly like someone that people have an eye on. I've never even heard of him. He's real tall, 6'6", white guy. That's all I know about him. He's been linked to AFC East teams. All right, this is a great pot of gold. All right, Andrew Callahan is here. We will do the world-famous 2 stats and 1 lie in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by
individuals who seek acceptance, respite, and care.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Papa's got two stats, but just one line. Papa's got two stats, but just one line. Gotta make up your mind. Oh, which one is the lie?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Andrew Callahan from the Boston Herald's here. Listen at the end of this segment for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card from Valvoline Instant Oil Change. What will happen is Andrew will give us 3 statistics. One will be a lie. We will have to identify which one, or all 3 can be lies. Therefore, it being a lot of fun. Hardy, what is the ranking so far? I know I got a point last week, if I recall correctly.
2 weeks ago, we skipped last week. So now you're sitting at 3 points on the season. I'm at 4. John is at 7.
All right, because John is the one who got the 3 lies.
He correctly identified the 3 lies. The last one, which took place on October 13th. John identified that.
All right, very good. What do we have for us today? What do you have for us today, Andrew?
Oh, wait, first of all, we got to get into the
I apologize.
4 more shows, 3 co-hosts, 2 statistics, and 1 live from Andrew Callahan.
Ho, ho, ho.
It's actually more shows
I have
than that,
7
so-
more shows.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we'll get to the real one here.
All right, testing 1, 2, 3. Let's do this. It takes 2 steps from the other line. And one might see if you can get it right.
All right, Andrew, what do you have for us? By the way, 2 stats and 1 lie is something that they should sell.
You would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's only been
I don't know if that's the way things are
He's only been doing
sold.
it almost 2 years. Why start now?
I hear about it now as much as doing TV by podcast.
I'll tell you this, is that this is not a pat on the back, but Gorman, guys that do play-by-play, that is not uncommon. That they, especially Gorman, said that he came up more about the show than anything else. Now, that's not being recognized necessarily, but that's people coming up and feeling the need to say something was based on his appearances on the show, which is why when people cancel, like local people won't do the show, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's a pretty big megaphone at worst.
Hope you're listening, Gary Tangway.
Yeah, Adam's legit pissed at Gary, which is pretty funny because Adam doesn't get
upset
angry.
at anybody. Yeah,
no,
seriously.
Andrew, Adam gets upset at things, institutions.
Yeah.
Adam does not necessarily get upset at individuals.
legitimately upset, yeah.
He gets
you are.
He gets upset at policy.
So I have a feeling Gary.
Right, Hardy, I do.
I have a feeling Gary is probably a little annoyed at me, but Adam's super pissed at Gary, which is kind of overwhelms his annoyance towards me. Gary's annoyance towards me. So Gary, in the karmic fashion, is much worse off than I am. All right, here we go. Let's get to him. Let's go.
Number 1, with 23 touchdown passes and 4 games left, Drake May already has more touchdown passes than Mac Jones has ever had in a regular season. With 23 touchdown passes and 4 games left, Drake May already has more touchdown passes this season than Mac Jones has ever had in a regular season.
All right.
Number 2, as a head coach, Mike Vrabel has beaten every NFL team but one. As a head coach, Mike Vrabel has beaten every NFL team but one. Number 3, Kayshon Boutte has more career receiving touchdowns than every other college receiver the Patriots have drafted in the last 20 years. Kayshon Boutte has more career receiving touchdowns than every other college receiver the Patriots have drafted the last 20 years.
Is that combined or singular?
Individual. So
Okay.
you're measuring Kayshon Boutte against any other receiver one-on-one. And Julian Edelman.
Let me just pick out a couple things in that question. the word more, but more importantly than any college receiver drafted. The other options would be CFL.
Just Julian Edelman, who was a college quarterback that they drafted and played receiver.
Okay. Well, that's interesting then. So they had to play the receiver position in college. So that he can't throw in Edelman then.
Right.
So that means that it would be a tie at best. These are, let me tell you about these questions, is that they are nothing that can be guessed on based on any kind of knowledge.
No. And I see a lot of problems with question number 2. Mike Vrabel has beaten every NFL team but one. Do the LA Rams count as the same franchise? Do the Las Vegas Raiders count as the Oakland Raiders?
Yes. So
Okay.
I just strictly on the mascot.
Can I go
Okay.
first? I'm going to go first because I'm going to blow minds.
Okay.
I think they're all lies. I think 2 and 3 are lies, and then that makes me think that 1 is not necessarily true. We got to remember Mac Jones was not a bad quarterback for a season. So I'm saying they're all lies.
Okay. You are not going to like this, Fred. You're not going to like this.
You can't say they're all lies too.
And here's why.
Okay, if you have a reason, it's not, because if you
Nope.
backstab me, I went
This
first.
is not game theory, okay?
That's all.
This is. He came out of the gate with all lies back on September 2nd, right? Which began my hatred of this wrinkle this year. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks later on October 13th, he went all lies again. Now, we're getting toward the end of the season here. From October 13th goes 6 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks would have been last week, December 2nd, where, as it comes around again, he could go all lies again. We didn't do it last week, so the all lies week has to be this week. It doesn't have to be, but if you're just identifying patterns within the chaos, that is what I have done. That's what I was going to do last week, regardless of the gobbledygook that came out of his mouth. Same thing today. I, too, am going all lies.
Oh, you can't do that. Then I can never win. All right, whatever.
See,
I was going to go all lies last week.
Yeah, but I went first.
See, that's
I should
the
have taken
thing.
that off.
That's why I said you're not going to like it.
I know I can't. I too. Now, I want to go on record as saying I too believe that they're all lies. I think that some of these questions, the way they're phrased, are very, very cute. But to keep the game, I will try and choose one.
Actually, I think it would be better if John did go all lies.
Why? Because then there's no point in keeping score anymore.
Oh, yeah. Don't go all
no,
lies.
but if let's say you're right, gaming this out, and he goes all lies, then you keep pace with him.
Yeah, I know, but then there's with the way you've constructed this game, there's not
There's
enough
very
time left.
little chance
Like he would
for
have
us
to
to
blow
catch
everything,
him.
and we would have to get everything.
I only have one of these left next week.
This may.
Before
No.
I go on vacation. So
Yeah, but we can do it in the playoffs.
We also have the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people
All right.
enjoy the segment.
all right, great. So can I do all lies or not?
No,
I cannot. Okay.
that's why I went first.
I think they're all lies, but I will try and choose just one.
Fine, you can go all lies if you truly believe it in the spirit of the game. Fine.
I do.
Everyone's
believe
saying
it.
they're all lies.
Wallach, you should have made a pick. Number 2 was the lie.
Yeah, see, that's where Wallach's a failure.
So there's more than one team that he hasn't beaten.
Yes, Arizona and Pittsburgh.
See, that seemed like an obvious one. Why more TDs? Is Booty tied with anyone?
No.
Okay.
This is how bad the Patriots drafting of college receivers have been. He has 9 in 2.5 seasons. Mind you, he was like a professional healthy scratch as a rookie.
Yeah, it's not like Booty. It's been good this season, but it's not like he's
Yes,
like one of
very
like
good.
the all-time great receivers.
Brandon Tate had 7.
Yeah.
Or has
Well, my
7
Tate
for his
had 2.
career. Pop
Hello.
Douglas has 6. N'Keal Harry 5. Tyquan Thornton 5. These are just college receivers the Patriots drafted and their career receiving touchdowns in the NFL. They have all, whether they're here, whether they're elsewhere, stunk.
All right, and how many? So 23 touchdowns so far for Drake May. That's more than Mac Jones. How many did Mac Jones have his first year?
22.
Well, there you go.
That's more.
All right, play the outro because I have to give away something. If you would.
Yay!
Andrew's got two stats. Andrew's got two stats. But he's got one line. But he's got one line. Andrew's got two stats. Andrew's got two stats. But he's got one line. But he's got one line. Woo! Come on, girl!
All right, caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985 will win a $100 Visa gift card from Valvoline, Instant Oil Change. This holiday season, Valvoline Instant Oil Change is giving you the gift of travel so you can get to all of your holiday events without worrying about the price of gas. Andrew Callahan, thank you, sir. Appreciate the time. Boston Herald is where he does his business about the Patriots. We will have him in next week for one final appearance. He might be on station again, but that's it with us as a collective. We will be back in just one moment.
we're back. Toucher and Hardy.
To gentlemen, come hell or high water in our conception of time, there's one thing that's a reality, and that's 2025 is coming to an end. And what a wild year it's been, and what a year for entertainment. We've gotten the new Pat McAfee single, Dookie. That has been available for everyone. That is a bit of a touchstone in this year. You know, people remember when the Beatles did Sullivan. You know, there are certain signposts on the road of life and culture.
Some good, content.
And this is that signals that we are no longer an empire, and we are in the midst of a cataclysmic economic and societal
If I was to
shift
die,
worldwide.
which a lot of these songs are about,
And that our children will be under the thumb of China. That's what that's.
My kids will know exactly who the their dad was.
Right, and that is partially responsible for the fall of Western civilization. But nonetheless, Hardy.
Congratulations, man.
Hell yeah. With the end of the year comes lists, and Lord knows that we do love lists. And you know what? I'm a bit of a cinephile. My daughter and I have been to, I counted them. I keep a list inspired by a director that I was looking at what he does. Every year he keeps a list of the movies.
Just like I guess they call
seen.
it journaling.
They do. They call it. In fact, I'll be turning this into songs. As a matter of fact,
Writing poems or bars or choruses or verses or melodies or songs.
No, this is just a list of notes. But I have seen. I can tell you exactly how many I have seen.
I wish you would.
Well, yeah, it was. I've seen 30 movies.
30 movies in 2025?
In the movie theater.
Wow. Does that include Predator Badlands that you walked out of after 20 minutes?
No.
Okay, good, because you don't get to count that one.
I've seen 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 movies with Zoe. And then the other 11 I saw with someone else or on my own. Mostly on my own.
So the question is, Fred, out of all these films that you've seen.
Like church. Where I attended Sunday by myself. You know, remember that, Hardy?
I do remember you saying that.
I went to Episcopal Church by myself, gave a donation.
We still don't know why. And it's the important thing is that you did something charitable and then you tell everyone about it.
Yes.
That is because
of
otherwise,
course.
What's the point of doing it?
You get it.
Yes. Out of all these films that you've seen, Fred, how many of the Rolling Stone top 20 films of 2025 have you seen? Or has this just been all an exercise to get you your soda pops that you crave so desperately when you go to the movies?
Well, they do have the fountain, which has many, many flavors and the ability to fill it yourself.
And after we strike out on you not seeing, I'm going to guess more than 2 of Rolling Stone's top 20 films
that
of
might
2025.
I know I've seen probably one.
Okay.
I know for a fact the DiCaprio one I saw, and I'm guaranteed that's on that list because it has to be.
One battle
after another.
Okay.
And that's definitely on that list, and I saw that, and I enjoyed it. This is an unfair question because you guys aren't going to be able to answer it, but were these all released in the movie theater? Like, that's the thing, is that, like, at West Newton Cinema, I go to it occasionally, but sometimes these movies aren't even out there.
Yeah, I got a feeling a handful of films on the Rolling Stone list were probably like at Kendall Square or Coolidge Corner.
Okay, because if that counts as movies, that's fine. And those places should be supported, not given donations, but supported. Yeah. And but I won't watch a movie streaming. Okay. Like I just won't do it. Like it's too hard for me to do.
There's one other film.
I just started putting on 227 and playing with myself.
That
Jackie!
Before we
I'll go, for instance, as I interrupt you again, say we're watching one time after another or whatever.
It's okay. It's all good stuff. Go ahead.
I'll look at it.
If you've got gold, it's okay to interrupt.
Yeah, follow me. Just have to sift through the crap to find it. Yeah. I swallowed it.
Yeah.
I'll be watching something like, say I'm watching I don't know, like Minecraft the movie, and say there's some famous actress in that, and they'll be sitting there, and I'm sitting at home, and I'm like, what am I? And I'll be like, this woman's no Jackie. I'll be like, now in this day and age, at my fingertips, I can get 227.
Totally worth it.
Why am I watching it?
No, see, that's why it's worth it.
With your family around you, you're never alone.
I don't like
there's
this
no
theme.
place like home. She says it again. There's no place like home. You know?
It's just a shuffle. It's just a shuffle beat going on.
Marla Gibbs is having fun.
All right. There's one other film on the Rolling Stone Top 20 of 2025 I'm pretty sure you've seen, and I would be willing to bet you haven't seen any of the other ones.
Okay, so I saw that one. Is Bad Shabbat on there? Because that was an art film that I saw.
Bad Shabbat is not on the list. I'm sorry.
Okay. Is The Killing Machine on the list? 'Cause I saw that.
Killing Machine, not on the list.
Okay. That was not a very good movie, but that had Oscar buzz. Is Friendship on that list?
No, Friendship. I don't think it should be either.
Okay, I'm trying to find ones that like I have a list of them.
I'll give you a hint. It's a horror/comedy.
I didn't see it. I haven't seen a horror movie. Is it the black one that changed the life of Skip Bayless?
Sinners, no.
Sinners, Michael B. Jordan.
Sinners is not on the list, no.
If you recall, Skip Bayless saw Sinners and he said, I was shaken. Right. I finally realized the plight of the black man. It took Sinners in 2025 for an 80-year-old to realize there's systemic racism.
12, you got the list in front of you, too. It's number 20 is the film I'm talking about. I believe Josh Brolin is in this movie.
Yes, this is this one. I saw it, Hardy saw it, but you did not see Weapons, Fred? Is that?
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay, all right.
You saw that in the theater?
Yes, that's like the one movie I went and saw at the theater.
I was unaware.
I got a free screening ticket.
I saw Josh Brolin in The Running Man.
Oh, did you see that? Was that decent?
It was great. I love that actor that I can't stand.
Yeah, he sucks.
Glenn Powell.
That was my daughter went to a party and I had the 2 hours to kill and it was go to the movie or go home.
I'll spare everybody the top 20
films. It was easy to get a ticket, I'll say that.
From Rolling Stone. I mean, One Battle After Another is number one.
Right. They're going to be ones no one's ever heard of. But it's like a little bit of an exercise.
Hamnet. Black Bag.
I saw Black Bag.
Oh,
Black Bag's really good. It's
What's
like a fun spy movie, like a British spy movie.
Oh yeah, I wanted to see that one.
Yeah, Black Bag's actually good.
Okay,
I'm surprised
Steven
that made the
Soderbergh.
list. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good movie.
No Other Choice. Sorry,
No,
Baby.
it's about abortion. Because there's really no other choice but not do it.
Universal Language. On Becoming a Guinea Fowl.
Oh, I don't like
we all
that.
saw
That's
that.
very racist.
And then the one movie that I will be watching here soon. There were 2 times I wanted to watch this with the family, and they both told me no. I'm going to end up watching it by myself. Is the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein? That's number 19.
Okay, so there was this like plea in a magazine, and I think I told you about it already. I did off the air that this Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein was something that demanded to be seen in the theater. That like it's this once in a lifetime like piece of art that needs to be experienced in the theater. And I read this and I said, okay, I go to enough movies, maybe I'll go see this. It was in the movies for like a day.
Yeah, and it was on Netflix 20 minutes later.
Right, and there's no way any of you, and this speaks obviously of myself, but I'll say any of you are going to sit through like an experimental Frankenstein film at home. There's too much to do. There's too much to be distracted
I'm going to try it.
It's too hard. I don't say it's 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is a light guess. I'm guessing it's far longer. But if you are, say 2 hours and 15 minutes.
It's 2.5 hours.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
So, like I said, look, this is a passion project. This is going to be indulgent. But it could be very beautiful. But that's not going to translate at home. And and there's too many distractions. We all have to face it. Like, in short of us putting our phones in a bag and getting rid of all remotes, and even then you're picking up stuff. No one, and if I'm not speaking for you, I apologize, but I would say 99.9% of us, no matter what age, have an inability to sit at home for 2.5 hours and appreciate and take in a piece of art like that.
It might take until we're on break. And then I can really just unplug a little bit.
I don't know if I could watch it on a plane. Like I'll be on airplanes, and I don't know if I could take that in on a plane.
Yeah, but the problem is on the plane, they keep interrupting when trying to sell you credit cards That's the most annoying thing about the airplane movie watching.
What airline are you on?
I got to listen to a 5-minute spiel. Delta does it. Delta does
At the beginning,
long thing.
At the beginning of the movie.
I'm trying to watch my. I'm already.
But you said
trying to look at
interrupt the
my
movie.
shows.
And I was going to say, they don't run ads during the movies.
No. But they come on with their announcements.
That's what it does. The flight attendant comes on with the announcement and everything freezes.
That's when you stand up and yell.
Yeah. All right. Let's switch then to the top grossing films of 2025. You've already mentioned a couple of these.
Dan's Vomit.
Yes. That is
It was
number
gross.
3.
All right. The top grossing films.
Go with a couple of animated or technological affairs there to get you started off with. See if you can get 1 and 2 right off the bat. One of them you already mentioned.
A Minecraft movie.
That is correct. That is number 1.
Yeah, we're in a good place. In terms of movies. What was the other? I saw that. What was another piece of crap I saw? I guarantee I saw it.
You bet. You bet.
I have a 15-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Let me see. I guarantee you I saw it. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
It certainly was not the Smurfs.
And John, feel free to guess on anything at any point.
F1. You're talking to him. I saw one movie.
F1's definitely in the top. F1's definitely
is,
in the top 10.
F1 is the
Very
movie
good.
I saw.
Yeah. F1.
Number 13.
Thank you very
it's
much.
Not Lilo and Stitch, is it?
How about
Lilo and Stitch is number 2, Fred.
All right. Okay, I bet you I've seen them all. Lilo and Stitch, How to Train a Dragon.
How to Train a Dragon is number 8.
Superman.
Superman is number 3. I didn't like the dog. What's
Bad
the dog
Guys
doing
2.
here? Bad Guys 2 is
I'm not kidding. That could be.
No.
What else would be on here that I've seen that would be a hit? Nothing.
Springsteen.
No, that movie tanked. Yeah, I saw that. That movie sucked. That movie tanked. Is it? But Complete Unknown's not on there, obviously.
No.
Okay. What are the others?
Skip Bayless movie.
Oh,
Sinners.
Sinners is on there at number 6.
Oh, the Blacks. I finally discovered what happened.
I still feel so deeply guilty about it.
That guy worked with a black guy on a debate show.
That's right, for years.
And it took
My
the
soul
movie Sinners.
aches.
A variety of them.
It took a fictionalized vampire movie for it to really drive home. He was alive for like the Selma riots, like live in reading and writing during the Selma riots.
15 years with different African American co-hosts.
He was certainly in his late teens when the Selma riots happened.
My God.
Like Martin Luther King, was assassinated in his adulthood. Like it's really kind of hard to imagine that he would even make that statement. I think it's better off just going, I'm racist, than it is to go, aha, I finally understand.
Yeah.
These people got a raw deal.
Against racial injustice.
An emphasis on the these.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
All right, Fred. Without looking at your phone, it's a film that I'm pretty sure you saw. It's number 12, top grossing film of 2025. Featuring the father or the sheriff from Stranger Things. He's in this movie. It's a superhero affair. I saw it in the theater. I think you saw it in the theater. I said without looking at your phone.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Anyone remember?
Superhero movie?
Yep. The name of the movie is Thunderbolts.
No, I didn't see it.
You
I
didn't see
refuse to see it.
Thunderbolt?
No, I
Oh.
refuse to see it.
I thought for sure you would have seen
I
it.
won't see a Marvel superhero movie.
The final installment of a huge action franchise.
Oh, the Mission Impossible?
What is the subtitle of the Mission Impossible?
I didn't see
Dead
it.
Reckoning?
Very good, John Walling.
That's right up John's alley. I tried to watch a Mission Impossible on the plane, and I was like,
I gave
got
up
2 minutes
after the
in.
7th one where they were in the desert.
This uptight nerd is not passing as an agent to me.
No.
Go ahead.
The movie
finish up.
One of the movies you walked out on came in at number 20.
Oh, Predator.
Predator Badlands, and you did yourself, you got it right. A huge injustice by not sticking around for that movie.
I was with my daughter, and that was too much magic.
You don't see horror movies, so I won't ask you, Fred. John, there was a recent installment of a very popular horror franchise that made it in at number 14. The original set in nearby Connecticut.
Amityville Horror?
No.
No, it's Long Island.
Oh.
The Conjuring.
Of
Last
course.
Rites.
All right.
The people that bought that house in Amityville still gawkers.
That Conjuring House is it Connecticut or Rhode Island?
I believe it's Connecticut because I believe it was just once again purchased.
Very good. That is it. The Conjuring. It shows people do not go to the movies, and now with the acquisition of Netflix of Warner Brothers, it will only get worse.
Oh, and of course, Jurassic World Rebirth at number 4.
I saw that.
And Wicked for Good
is already in that high.
How about number 5?
I'll hand it to my daughter. She does not want to see that film.
Have we discussed that? Somebody asked just kind of openly, what trauma did these two stars go through in the filming of this, where they appear to be suffering from PTSD on every red carpet that they're on, and they're just always so fragile and frail, these two?
So Ariana Grande is doing a 3-day, basically residency, but 3 days at the Garden this summer. And I thought my daughter kind of wants to go, so I thought maybe for Christmas I'll get her those tickets.
God, how much?
I didn't get them. And if I'm not getting them, how about like $3,500 like for anything like remotely
like
in the
in
building?
the Loge.
In the Loge. Like it's like $3,500.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because she's only doing like a few cities. So like she's doing New York and Boston, but she's not doing Philly or like anything else. She's only doing Chicago, right? Like, so people are going to be flying in from other places. It's a very strange routing and odd because she doesn't taste that money. Like once those tickets are sold, they're sold. So I don't really understand the exclusivity of it. Like I don't get why you just don't tour the nation. But there you go.
Balcony 306, one seat, $920.
Yeah, like it's not like she doesn't want to see Ariana Grande that much.
Far in from the stage.
So I dropped $7,000 for the two of us to go see someone she barely wants to see, and then I'm pissed the whole time, and she doesn't care. You know, like, and what does she even do? If she went and did the show she was on the Disney Channel and recreated that magic, where she played a real airhead, then we could have that. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy will be right back on the Sports Hub.
We're the best friends that can be, my buddy and me.
Now, more of your best morning buddies, Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
All right. We are Toucher and Hardy, and if you'd like to email us, go to 985thesportshub.com and find our email addresses. You can follow us on social media at Toucher and Hardy, at Hardy985, and on Instagram, where I am available, at Fred Toucher, where we are now over 26,000 followers and working very hard to please them and grow the business. The Boom Guy's got a holiday song coming out.
Oh, exciting.
My son sent that to me yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Is that later on today or is it tomorrow? I'm going to have to debut that. We have to carve out a segment for that.
I know how it goes.
Oh, do you?
It's like It's Tricky slowed down, the beat. It's like every song is that It's Tricky beat.
Mm-hmm.
And then but they say boom in it. And then you fast forward and you go, I don't like the way this looks for these children. I hope for the best, but I fear the worst.
I feel like we were talking about this time a year ago. They did their first holiday song, and that was when they rolled the sister out, because he's got a daughter as well as the son.
The comments on the daughter are not overly good, and she's 15.
Yeah, I wish she could opt out. I wish she could just say no. Thank you.
Well, she could. I mean, I'm sure she wants to do it, but the thing is that. Here's the deal. The people that are commenting are the worst of all. But again, that is the reality of the online situation. And by the way, they only have 500,000 Instagram followers. I don't know how lucrative this could be.
There might be a TikTok thing, some of those types.
How much do you make
TikTok.
per million followers on TikTok?
I don't know. But I'm
It's certainly not 100 grand.
Following looks like.
I would think it's 10 grand per million or 20 grand per million. How much could it cost? It's such an invested audience, right? You're advertising something it's come and gone in 10 seconds, and there's no meat to it. And if it's so you're a restaurant and you pay them to come in and for 30 seconds dick around with your food, and then you think everyone's going to remember the name of your restaurant and go out of their way. We need to get reservations to that restaurant, I remember, from that 30-second dumb video that I consumed in a flurry of spasmodic ADD.
We bring the boom.
What a waste of money. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on the radio. I mean, what a waste of money. My son sends me those Boom videos because he knows they drive me crazy. And they're always at restaurants, shoving food down the kid's mouth.
We're Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
Yeah, it's relatable and funny. But the thing is that if I'm the restaurant, what now, dummy? What do you think? The 500,000th video some kid scrolled through, he's going to go, those wings look good. I can't wait to go. If you're Dunkin' and you're going to shove yourself in every video and, you might create a craze with a drink. But I have a feeling the Boom guys aren't moving product.
They got just under 3 million TikTok followers, but it's let me put it this way. It's hard to find what their actual net worth is, which means it's probably not a lot. But they will charge you $195 for a cameo, so they got that going for
Well, I do like that Cameo's still in business.
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms.
And he's got to wrangle that effing kid every time he wants to make one of these cameos. He's got to get a kid. Imagine having your kids part of your business. That's you. Not top student, that needs to work at the restaurant. Top
student.
Just a quick Google search. The money it doesn't look like the money's there.
That's the thing. You're just blowing up everyone's life.
There's a TikTok creator fund, 3 cents you get for every 1,000 views. And estimated earnings, you have 100,000 followers, you can earn around $125 a post.
And then they tie in with sponsors, and I'm sure that's how the majority of their money's made. But again, if I'm the business, what is the? I mean, if you can get Cousin Angelo in it, I know all their names, but I don't know anywhere they've ever been, and I've seen it. The kid loves seafood. Now you get the Rizzler. Now the Rizzler is paid to be overweight. Let's be honest.
But Big Justice, you go back to school, he's top student, you come back here and he run your social media account for you.
Well, I imagine
a lot of money.
I imagine it's a bit of tug of war with the teachers. When there's 5 cameos to be made, so you can clear, after they take their fees, $300. It's good. Take the kid out of school so you can pocket that $300. And just to be ridiculed that openly. And I don't make fun of the kids ever. I don't. But I mean, the Rizzler is famous because he's overweight, among other things. Like if the Rizzler's not overweight, this is not offensive nor controversial. The Rizzler, part of his whole thing is that he's overweight. I mean, and so I wonder.
You're not telling tales out of school.
No, I would push back against any pushback on that by saying this is just the reality. There's nothing wrong with it, him being overweight, but he is, and that's part of the sell point.
Yeah.
So my question is, if he starts to grow, and the metabolism starts cooking. You honestly think of this because my son sends me 3 videos a day. And yes, I know I could not open them, but he's my son, and I do get a little bit of kick out of it that he's sitting at school thinking of bothering me. But the Rizzler, let's have this discussion because I'm running out of steam this holiday season.
No,
it's coming off on air. So if the Rizzler starts growing, and his metabolism starts kicking up, and he begins to lose weight, in the back of the parent's skull, is there a concern?
And maybe they start...
not that they do anything or they say anything, but that's going beyond where I want to go. Just not because of anything, just it's unnecessary to the exercise. Is there a thought at some point, like the Rizzler comes out for lunch on a Saturday, and I just saw Tyler Milliken, he looks like he lost some weight. He's lost 10 pounds. They see the Rizzler, and the Rizzler is visibly lost a little weight. Mm-hmm. Is there a thing in the parent's head that kind of goes,
you don't need to finish this. Oh, yes. Of course there is.
Like, they might not say anything.
My meal ticket,
they might not even think that, but but you know how you can't help it. It's instinct. You get an instinctual thing is, oh, no, my kid's losing weight.
They go out to eat, and the Rizzler wants a salad. So they say, oh, no.
No, because you can't say, but they don't say it. And they probably don't even say it to each other if they're married, if he has married parents.
You're asking a legitimate question. I'll give you a legitimate answer. I think this type of mindset and these type of people immediately look at everything and every opportunity as another opportunity. And if that were to start to happen and they see that the Rizzler is slimming down or his metabolism is finally coming around, they say, you know what, we can make this into something. This is yet another opportunity to exploit our lives on social media and somehow make money off of it.
And you want to know what's funny is that if you think it's because of money, you're sadly mistaken. These parents aren't doing this for money because even if there's a little bit of money to be had, it's not why you're doing it. You're doing it for quote-unquote fame, which is what the saddest thing of all of it is.
I would still be willing to bet, maybe not for you, but for me, they're making more money than I think is something that should be happening in this world.
Well, for sure, they're making more money than I think and more money than they should be. I don't know if it's life-changing in the fact that they're set for life. I don't think so. I don't think they're making millions of dollars. But they're not doing it for that reason. You don't set up a camera and start filming yourself because you want to make money. You do it because you want people to love you, but you haven't done anything to deserve that.
But if you can do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And who wouldn't love bonding with their kids? You know?
Action. 3, 2, 1, boom!
No, we're here with Jay Kinda Funny. No, we're here with Jay Kinda Funny first. Okay.
We're here with Jay Kinda Funny.
And this is boom. All right. We're here with Jay Kinda Funny, and this is...
See, that's the type of thing you just love to go get up and do every day. You never work a day in your life
Something
if you get to
look
do that.
Back on, at the end of your life and say, that was a great period of my life.
They asked the Boom guy if he was putting any pressure on his son to be a professional wrestler. And he said that I will give him as little or as much support as he needs in his efforts to become a professional wrestler. Which, I mean, is he going to be too disappointed if this doesn't come true?
Right.
I mean, it's good he's getting the skills now, just like the Hart family would stretch guys out in the basement. Nate, go ahead.
Yeah, Fred, joke's on you. The Rizzler's already been on AEW wrestling the Big Show.
I'm aware.
Brutality.
The Big Show, when they go to make a move on the Big Justice, the kid, they don't even come within like 2 feet of hitting him.
No, stop it. Are you trying to say it's fake? That's baloney.
No, but they usually like really hit each other a little bit and like just kind of go with the slap.
They should have given the kid what's called a receipt and just like he should have given him one of those like super what are they, the chest slaps there.
Yeah, you don't know. You're a Bozer fan. But like because you go, I wonder if they're gonna hit the kid like kind of. Like kind of shake him, not really hit him in the face, but stage hit him. Like, I don't want a wrestler, like, stage hit me. But nah. Like a good distance between, like, the kid's not even getting touched, really, at all. Because you go, like, I wonder if they'll, like, by accident, like, rattle him a little bit. Oops. But they don't do that. No, they don't do. And then like when they pick them up, like they barely they put them down nice. They don't really like throw them around at all. Because I was like, I wonder if the guy, because you get in there with some psycho ass wrestler in front of like 12,000 people, adrenaline takes over. There's an art to it. I respect what wrestlers do. I'm not entertained on it. I'm an adult, but they, I respect what they do and the art to it, and like they could be very injured if it's not done correctly. I'm aware of all of that. So I do think if my kid was in there, I'd be like, oh, Jesus Christ. But nah, they don't even like get in that, like, even that area, really. I got my eye on it.
Oh, good.
I bet you Miles sent one today. I bet you sent one today. He sends other ones too, but I show Hardy those aren't so, they're not great. All right. We'll be back in just a moment, and we'll steer this ship to shore.
Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show?
62 stack money, 62 stack money. Ready?
It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy. The Stack's brought to you by New England's largest Volkswagen dealer group. You can find them at colonialvw.com. Located in Medford, Wellesley, and Westboro. Come see the amazing finance and lease offers during VW's Winter Deal Days. Yes, you can have it all at Colonial. This is interesting if I can step in. Quinton Jammer. Do you remember Quinton Jammer? He was a defensive back primarily for the Chargers.
Yes.
He played for, I'm looking at it now, but he played 12 seasons, 11 with the Chargers. Quinton Jammer says, true story. In 2011, I played completely S-faced drunk in at least 8 games. Then the guy says, were you sipping? What were you sipping on? And how close to game time would be your last rip? And Quinton Jammer says, man, I drank a whole game and all the way home. And the guy says, I'm picturing vodka in a water bottle. Is that the case? Is that all on base? And then Quinton Jammer says, not 2 tequila bottles in my bag. Now, do I believe that he played drunk? Certainly. But I don't think that he was drinking out of a tequila bottle in the middle of the game. You know why?
Why?
The crowd and the television cameras and the coaches.
Oh.
Now, I've been to, I don't know if you guys have ever been to an NFL game.
No. Are they fun?
Up and down. It kind of depends on where you are. But there's not only a lot of people in seats, the whole sideline's a whole crowded affair. Very hard to sneak off.
Huh.
Now, there are people that urinate on the sideline covered in towels.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you see those towels go up. That's like the bat signal going up for you.
Yeah. What you doing with those towels?
Are you ready for the most unsurprising psychology research study released ever? Major age gap relationships. Which partners are happier? A new study reveals who is happier in an age gap relationship, the young or the old. Now, what would you think, Fred?
I would think that the older person would be the more happy.
That is correct. And ready for it, the least surprising thing, number 2. The finding was especially pronounced when the older partner was a man.
Hey.
So I don't know if this holds true in our most favorite and most talked about age gap relationship with Bill Belichick.
Not
because,
talking about this.
Well, I think as every day passes, he's probably becoming less happy in the relationship. But on average, the older partner was more happy with an age gap relationship than the younger. And the man tends to be more happier than the woman. Now, they use a age gap of no less than 7 years.
Oh, that's inconsequential. Okay, that's inconsequential. I can tell you that. By the way, a new 2-hour Vice television special, Out of Bounds, is coming out about Jordan and Bill, and I have no desire to see it because there's nothing. It won't even be up to date, let alone it won't uncover anything new. Those things stink because it will be. They'll have like some relationship expert that they'll have interviewed and they'll be like weighing in and you'll go, why am I watching this? First of all, what's a relationship expert? And second of all, tell me what's going on and talk to people involved. I don't need to know some other person hearing this information, what their thoughts are. I want to see people that were there.
At least they got Pablo in it, and Madeline Hill and
Charlotte
Wilder.
But I've talked to Pablo and Charlotte Wilder myself.
I
don't need to watch that on Vice, and I don't think they're making much money off it any, so they don't need me to promote it. But I will tell you this, is that when the age gap seems to really, like, I went to the doctor at 50, right? Mm-hmm. And everything's fine, and they didn't really have to do anything. But that got me thinking about my parents. And, like, I think once you're 70, the experience at the doctor's office is like a whole new ball of wax. And so if the person is, say, much over 15 years younger than you, there's going to be a big discrepancy in, like, your ability to do things. Like, you're tracking stuff that they've never even thought of. Like the dietary restrictions and like counting steps and like all this stuff. I think when that really kicks in and it's in because like 35, 50 is like whatever. The 35-year-old, the big thing is they generally want kids. And so like there's almost like a hourglass running in this relationship. You can feel an intense amount of pressure. But so like whatever. But say like I dated like a 25-year-old, that 25 years younger than me. It would be weird now. Mm-hmm. But when it would be really weird is when they're my age and I'm 75. Like I couldn't imagine dating a 75-year-old. Like that's where it's like really different. Like 50-25 is weird. And like I don't know how that would work, like a real relationship. Like I would, the whole thing would seem very strange, and you'd have to think about your kids and their reaction to it. It would be very difficult. But at least like I could probably do everything that a 25-year-old could do. You know, like there's like that age difference, like in terms of physically what I could do is right there with them. But you fast forward to 50-50, you don't feel like you don't feel like
you don't want to be in a relationship when only one of you is supposed to be keeping track of falls, and the other one is like, "What are you talking about?"
Right, like we need to install railings. Like these are conversations. Like Belichick is like a couple years away from like you got to start talking about having steps in your house. Like think about that.
Yeah.
She's 24 years old.
Yeah, and he's needs to be looking at first floor living.
Like no joke. Like there are people in assisted living like that are in their late 70s.
There are videos out there of Jordan like leading him away from a bus down a long sidewalk where he made sure that he was walking straight. I mean, the videos are already out there.
Like he's not much younger than Trump, and Trump's like falling asleep during stuff, and like and it's not a bad thing. He's just older, and he's got a real intense schedule. But like 50-year-old people aren't falling asleep. As generally as like a 79, 80-year-old is. And she's young. Like, like she's got, like, she's still, her brain's not fully formed.
Correct.
And he's got to worry about falling. Like, if Bill falls, it's like a big deal, Yes. Yeah, thank you. All right. If Pete Carroll falls, no big deal. Get up on a marathon. All right. That'll do it for us.
I don't care.
Well, I'm just saying goodbye, guy in North Carolina.
It's
Amos.
No.
All right. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Get to the Happy Holidays sale now at McGovern Ford.